Okay, we started.
Nice. Apologies, public access viewers, but Miranda Esper's Midnight Monster Madness, or whatever the fuck the title of the show is, will not be showing tonight. Instead, we have a different program for you.
Hello?
What?
Do not adjust your volume settings. The sounds you are about to hear are not what they appear. There is method to the madness unfolding around you as we plunge into the depths of colors you have never seen and sensations you lack the ability to process. Know that there is an orchestration to the chaos that is swallowing you. This is all by design, and though you can scarcely imagine the role you have to play, know that there is a plan and a purpose. The Kaleidoscope Men have come, and you are witness to their grand experiment. So listen close and keep hold of your mind as you succumb to another offbeat melody. When we last left off, you guys were at your bunker. You just finished your awesome fucking cuttlefish color suit and opened the door to find an exhausted Mothman, an unconscious entrepreneur, and a flying fucking saucer bearing down on you. So what do you do?
What can we do?
Pull the entrepreneur into the bunker.
Also, the Mothman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then shut the door.
Oh god, he's stuck in there with all the cats now.
It's the Mothman, he'll be fine.
I don't know, that's a whole colony of feral cats. 3 of which are
Mothman might
magical.
be fine, but
At least
how
3
many
of
cats
which
will
are
be left
magical.
besides the general?
Yeah, the general's not here with us. The other all the other ones are in there. So back up just in case.
Did you guys go back into the bunker? Like,
Oh yeah, I guess we should all go in the bunker.
You were waiting in the bunker initially to, finish the experiment and all that, and then set out with the proviso that the Mothman would warn you if he saw anything, any abductions beginning to happen in the park. Which the Mothman tried to, but it turns out the bunker is soundproof, so the Mothman spent a good chunk of time trying to get your attention while carrying the intended abductee victim in his legs. And apparently spent so much time trying to get the door open that he's kind of collapsed in exhaustion.
Oh no.
Just kind of pull him in.
Despite being really big, he's surprisingly light.
Well, yeah, because he has to fly.
He's also like got a void inside of him.
Pull him inside and just kind of be like, I really hope this isn't going to be a trend with this kid.
I think we all know it is.
Do we have the suit?
I'm wearing it.
Yeah. Hal's wearing it. You have pulled
I
the
think we
kid.
left off with Hal testing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You pull the Mothman and the kid into the mouth of the bunker just as an eerie green light lands right where they were sitting just a second prior. And you hear the humming of alien technology above you as, you could look up, but you can just sort of feel there's a flying saucer right over the fucking bunker.
My, like, high-tech Geiger counter going crazy.
Yeah. No concrete readings. It's giving you the good old, oh fuck, what the fuck, oh fuck, reaction.
Kaiko, meanwhile, is awash with emotions, predominantly utter panic. Lots of bad vibes are coming back to her.
So, I'm open to suggestions.
Do you guys close the bunker door?
Hey,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, just checking.
Does this thing have a camera on the outside that we could look at?
It should.
I've sat someone down to watch that.
From inside the operating room, I guess the bunker, you hear Mallory Masters say, "What's going on out there?"
Yeah, we forgot Mallory's in here.
Oh god, she just saw Mothman!
Oh no!
Wait, is this Mothman?
I mean, it's a pretty big bunker. She doesn't see you guys. She's calling out from another room.
Someone should go in there with her. Slowly looks at Isaac.
Get him to a separate room. Actually, both of them probably need separate rooms. Actually,
Yeah.
it would probably be best with the cats, right?
Yeah.
So do we all hide in the bunker, or...
Mothman, if you have any disguising shapes we don't know about, now's the good time to spill.
Mothman kind of looks blearily around, and then his eyes go wide when he realizes how cramped a space he's in. And everyone gets to make a let's say, I'm gonna say an action or pressure situation as Mothman begins thrashing his wings around and screeching in fear.
Oh god. This is going to hurt.
Oh,
Okay, I got a 9.
Okay.
I got an 11.
Pressure.
Alright.
Alright, I can use sharp for cool, so...
Post your rolls in chat, please.
Oh no!
Oh, right.
Oh, right, I can use not cool, but it's chalk.
This is when we need the good boy dice roller in this room.
Unfortunate, Isaac. Okay. Almost everyone manages to dodge the panicked thrashing of Mothman's wings, except Isaac, who gets swatted into a fucking, like, cabinet. And you take 1 harm because you hit that cabinet pretty fucking hard.
My armor?
Mothman, calm down! We're protecting you!
I technically have 2 armor.
Then you wouldn't take anything.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're safe. You're safe.
There's a bigger room down the way!
For a given value of safe.
So it's at this point you realize Mothman has claustrophobia.
Oh.
Can I go direct him to the bigger medical ward that has a pretty high roof?
Cool. He is too panicked to pay attention.
We should probably just shove him outside because they're after a human, not a moth.
That would be a dickbag thing to do.
Yeah, he's helped us out a lot.
And they might see him as a threat now.
So, I'm gonna use
okay.
the new thing that I got.
Empathy?
It's that soothing voice, where if I just talk to somebody very quietly in a calm, level voice for a few minutes, they will eventually calm down. Mothman, it's okay. It's okay. The aliens are outside. Nobody is keeping you here. But the aliens are outside. You can leave if you want to. But you're safe here. You're safe. You're okay. There's a bigger room down the way if you want to go down there. Okay? Okay?
Mothman doesn't speak, but he nods.
Oh.
Okay, so if you want to go down, it's that way. Just down a little bit. Okay?
Okay. Do you lead Mothman to the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You lead the Mothman to the bigger room, and he still looks really freaked out, and he's breathing hard, but he wraps himself up in his wings to make himself smaller, and thus the room bigger.
Oh.
And just sort of becomes this giant furry ball in the center of the room.
You want some gushers?
Mothman nods.
Might still have some.
Celia, reaches into the box she has been carrying since the witching hour ordeal and opens a bag of them and just upends it to him.
Mothman's head, the top of Mothman's head completely flips black like a trash can lid, instead of hovering over the mouth so that you don't get that menacing feeling when you reach your hand in there. When you drop the gushers in, the sound of their screaming echoes through Mothman's gullet as if several people had just fallen down and turned down into a chasm.
Oh,
Screams.
I was wondering if that was going to happen. That was going to happen.
And then the top of Mothman's head slaps back down like a trash can.
You feeling any better,
Didrik's
buddy?
just kind of staring like,
Alright, so what are we gonna
does that
do?
mean the inside of you is always a witching hour?
Maybe.
So,
Maybe someday you'll have a magical mystery tour of Mothman's insides.
no. No.
I like the way you said that.
Journey to the center of Mothman.
No.
Nope, no thank you.
So,
The Chuck Tingle crossover today.
so... Jesus.
I'm open-minded.
So anyway, there's a civilian in our bunker.
Go look at the camera.
Like,
They're just gonna go look at the camera to see if, like, the light's still out there while they deal with the kid.
Yeah, you look outside the camera and there is a eerie green light filling the door, the area outside the door of the bunker. The longer you watch the surveillance footage, the more it begins to glitch.
Hmm.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah, radiation burns. Oh yeah,
does this suit prevent radiation that I'm wearing?
it was made from a
Dr. Mallory enters. Hey, none of you answered my fucking Mothman?
Maybe?
It's a Mothman.
More
Is that
pressing.
case I had a few weeks back? Yeah, our visitors are here. I guess we kind of didn't hear the doorbell when the Mothman was trying to get our attention.
Yeah, it's a soundproof bunker.
No, that makes sense. Mothman knocking on the door. We didn't hear it. So yeah,
She like, you know that meme of the lady where she's processing something and there's like all the math equations? Mallory's face is kind of like that while she's observing this, trying to process what the fuck has happened of this already weird situation.
Hey, condensed Spark Notes version is we kind of mercenaried out the Mothman to keep an eye out for the aliens. He got the kid out of there because we didn't hear him, so now the aliens are right outside.
All right. And she walks over and sits down next to Mothman and sort of curls up into a ball herself. Okay.
Hell, I guess
do
we're
we-
gonna get the best rehearsal we could get.
do we still have any of that metal cable in here? Gonna have to improvise.
Yes, there probably is.
There should be.
Because if what I'm thinking of
If this
doing
is a
doesn't
medical
work,
lab,
you're-
you know who, there would definitely be restraints.
if what I'm thinking of doing doesn't work, you're gonna have to yank my ass back in here real quick.
Jeez, we're gonna have to reel you back in like a fish.
So, Mr. Mothman, I know you're like scared as shit. So am I. I'm about to walk out into an alien abduction on purpose. Do you think you could maybe grab this line they're gonna hook around wherever and try to make sure I don't float away like a goddamn balloon?
Mothman looks at the cable, then at you, and nods.
Sweet. Oh, he goes up to the door, and he's like, well, here I
Tycho
fucking go.
Tycho
Alright.
typically follows.
Mothman grabs the cable with one of his feet and pulls it into the giant furry ball that is his body right now.
Oh.
Okay, so, Hal opens the door really quickly and then
Physical.
shuts it, like, just enough where they can pull him back in, but they can't get into the other, where the other ones are. And then he blares the biggest, stop sign of emotions that he possibly can. So he's gonna use empath. Where is that?
If you get a bad roll, this would be a good time to use a luck roll.
It's not a bad roll. It's fine. It's a 12.
That's a real good roll.
That is the opposite of a bad roll.
So he's basically lighting up red like a stop sign. Like, maybe don't do this, what you're doing. Maybe just stop and talk.
Right.
I'm ready to talk to you if you're fucking willing to talk to me.
There's, when you step out and you blare this thing, you see the immensity of the UFO hovering above the bunker. It's about the size of a house. The underside covered with a variety of glittering lights, and strange apparatus. The green spotlight that's shining over you, holds for a second while you signal stop in your color suit. And for a minute you're not sure what's happening. And then you're pulled upwards. Very fast and very hard.
Oh, here I go.
Inside the bunker, you guys see the steel cable begin to get pulled, and Mothman immediately smacks backwards against the wall and pulls back hard as much as he can.
Tycho grabs it too.
Yeah, so Zoe.
Isaac was right at the door waiting to.
Same with
pull it.
Tycho.
Cats, help! I don't know what
UFO.
you're gonna do, but there's an army of you.
Alright. Hal, as you're being sucked up into the UFO, you see one of the apparatus sort of extend and glow and shoot out a beam of light that hits the cable and severs it immediately.
Oh.
Inside the bunker, you see the cable go slack. When Mothman sees that, he spreads open his wings, knocks all of you over as he leaps out through, bursts out the bunker door, and flies up into the UFO with Hal, and you see them both get sucked inside before the light shuts off.
Oh, he came after me.
Oh. Now what?
And then the UFO, the lights on the underside, blink off, and it floats upwards until it disappears into the black night sky.
Cat, no! Go!
Hal, we're gonna get to your adventure in a bit, but first I want to see what everyone else wants to do.
Tycho's having a panic attack.
He screams.
He's really close to having a panic attack too.
Hal will be fine. Hal will be fine. Hal will be fine.
Tycho's
How do we find a flying saucer?
Mallory Masters appears behind you all and is like,
You! How do we find a flying saucer?
I study disease!
You worked for a spooky company!
As a pathologist!
Also,
You're a
Pogo's
spooky company!
a dragon. Does he have wings hidden under there?
Not that you guys saw.
We have to do something!
Kaiko is inconsolable right now because what happened to someone else, and there's nothing she could have done about it.
If there's anyone who can get through this, fine. It's Hal. It's Hal.
We need to go to Makarla.
Actually, if he's got them off, man.
We need to go to Makarla.
Who?
She's the only one who has any idea about
Because she's
these
half
things.
alien!
No, because they've been trying to abduct her for years. Who's? Well, I mean, yeah, half alien too, but still.
God, you put it that way, they sound like real creeps.
Yeah, they do. They just abducted Hal. They are real creeps. I don't know what to do. I'm going to go break into Makarla's bunker with my army of cats and get her help. That sounds also really weird and without context.
Sounds weird with context.
No, it's not! Shut up, Hal, you're not here! Who's coming with me?
I guess I will.
Kaiko is absolutely inconsolable right now.
I'll drive. Oh, wait. Isaac's the only one who can drive without Hal here, besides Mallory.
Oh no!
What's going on? And you all realize the entrepreneur has just woken up from, probably fainting.
Oh,
Where am
The
I?
aliens tried to abduct you, and the
Really?
Mothman saved you and brought you to this bunker we like to hang out in. So instead, they abducted our friend.
Tycho? No, this is bad, but we need you right now. Hal needs you right now.
You're gonna need to roll really fucking high, Nora.
Wait. I had a dream Mothman save me once.
What? Oh yeah, that did happen. I mean, oh yeah, that happened.
Mothman's real?
He's real.
Mothman is
And
real.
And he's a huge gourmand.
I got a 10 for charm to manipulate someone.
And,
Okay.
and he
That's
went
not gonna
a-
work.
I
and
mean,
he
you
went
need
after
to do an opposing roll.
Yeah, there are actual rules for manipulate someone rolls on other people. Other
can I help?
players. You can. Meanwhile, Mallory Masters is going to go comfort the entrepreneur and explain things to him in her own way.
Oh boy.
So, for manipulate someone rolls against another hunter. Depending on the roll, if it's a 10 plus, they mark experience and get 1 forward if they do what you ask. On 7 and 9, they mark an experience if they do what you ask. And on a miss, it's up to that hunter to decide how badly you offend or annoy them. And they mark experience if they do not do what you asked.
Okay, so what does a 10 mean?
A 9 means that if Kaiko does what you ask, she gets to mark an experience point for it.
It's up to Tycho then.
Well, state specifically what you're trying to ask Kaiko to do.
Oh, you need to calm down, because Hal
Oh,
needs
that's not gonna happen.
Because Hal needs her.
Yeah, but what can she do? Go to a
Any-
lady who's been traumatized
Going
and
to
also
find
abducted?
Kyla.
Yeah, and what's
We had a-
Makarla gonna do?
It's
there
no-
better than
nothing.
standing here and doing nothing.
Is there-
Makarla
what-
knows nothing.
What about Mafaust? Is there any way we can?
Well, I
get
mean,
him
that's definitely not true. Makarla does know something. She just didn't. She purposely did not tell you very much because she didn't want to go into it. You guys, you in particular, Kaiko, know that Makarla was hiding shit because that's one of your special powers.
Oh.
I mean, you know, she was giving good reasons for hiding shit. She doesn't know who the fuck you people are, and it's a traumatic experience, and you respected that, you know, maybe she doesn't want to delve into that. But you know that she knew more than she let on.
Tycho, I know this isn't easy. I know you're terrified. I know how hard this is
Nora?
hitting you.
I'm just gonna say, the way you're phrasing it, you guys suck at this.
Okay, we're all kind of freaking out.
Playing it in character. This is an in-character conflict we get to have. Doesn't have to succeed as long as the story proceeds.
Yeah. No, this is bad. But Hal needs us right now.
The thing is, you're fighting back years of anxiety.
Yeah, no, I know. You're totally able to say no to this.
Chances are, if there's any time Kaiko's having flashbacks, it's probably now. But that's
She's
the
allowed.
Yeah, this is
but,
character.
but it's also in character for the other characters to try and get you to snap out of it, even if they don't find a way to make it succeed.
Zoe, can I help?
Please.
Kaiko, I don't pretend to understand what it was you went through. And I don't know if that's what Hal's going through right now. But I do know this. Neither of you are alone. Whatever happens, however Hal comes out of this, however any of us comes out of it, we are with you. Both of you.
Always.
And I'm not going to drag you somewhere that you don't want to be. If you don't want to... If you don't think that you... If you want to stay in this bunker, that's fine. I won't judge you. I know this is hard, but we are going to go after Hal somehow. I'm not sure how, but anything you can do could mean the difference between life and death. Rolled a 7.
Don't know how to... On the one hand, there's the desire for story progression. On the other hand, I'm not sure how Kaiko reacts.
You know, that's totally fair, okay? This is a big character. It shouldn't be easy.
Zoe, do you want to go after? Do you want to see what she was hiding? Do you really want to do that?
Yeah, I'll go. If you're able to, Kaiko, I'll be waiting for you. But if you can't do it, this is a big thing for you. I get it. I'm not good with this consoling thing. There's a reason Hal has a room just for you. I get it. I'm sorry. But I'm going to go.
If it. Kaiko is fidgeting as she's just like rubbing her face, and you just see the full extent of that's a lot of damage done to her face.
Would you prefer if one of us stays here with you if you do stay?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
enough of us that you won't be here alone.
It's not gonna work, but it's the only way we can go forward, but
Kaiko, if at any point you want one of us to take you back to here or to your bunker or anywhere, we will do that. I promise.
I have no problem. With that. My cousin's out there in a spaceship, and I need to get it back.
I mean, it's hard trying to roleplay the character who has traumatic experience that she's reliving.
Yeah, no, you're doing good, Kay. You're doing very
You're doing
good,
really
Kay.
good, yeah.
Yeah, you're doing really good. It's not an easy answer. You're doing. Zoe pulls Kaiko into a hug.
What do you know? The reason why I don't like doing it is I fake cry ridiculously easy.
I understand that completely. I remember the Freddy session of Conquered Worm.
You can stay
Why
here.
wasn't I a child actor, damn it? I could fake cry
Yeah,
on
why
command.
weren't you exploited as a child and then horribly sexualized in your teens?
Wow.
And then became an
Wow.
eccentric weirdo who becomes friends with Red Letter
Hey,
Media.
at least
the
I would have been. Hey, at least I would have been rich.
Wow.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, he could have
Richer than I
pissed it
am
all away
now.
like that fat fucker from The Sixth Sense.
Exploited as a child. At least in that route, I would have been rich.
Jesus.
Wow, this
I-
conversation sure did take a turn.
Yeah. If you
No,
need to stay here,
Let's try to find the rails.
Well, Tascatha?
I mean, you could have been a child actor like Elijah Wood and then just, like, disappeared until you were an adult, started one movie, got a whole shit more money, and then left again.
And then made the magnum opus over the garden wall, and having completed all the work you need to do in this world, just did whatever.
Exactly.
Or whatever the fuck Macaulay Culkin's doing these days.
yeah, he's doing it every
Guest appearing on Red Letter Media.
We're angry video game nerd.
Yeah, he moved to Wisconsin.
No!
Of
Get
course,
out!
of course, the serial killers go to Wisconsin.
Get out!
Now
Anyway,
you're home.
What did I...
Anyways, Kaiko is going to go, but
So he's going to have an arm around her as they go.
As is Celia.
Should I take this child home?
Please?
I
Alright.
was gonna talk to you about that.
Where do you live, kid? I'll give you an address that actually exists, but I won't say it out loud. Not sure why I gave him a Mickey Mouse voice. He's never talked like that before. Yeah, so... Mallory and the entrepreneur exit the plot.
Should we take the army of cats with us? I mean, the general's coming no matter what, but
I'm
I
not
feel-
driving.
What?
there's no way
15
they can
cats
fit
in my
in this
car.
car.
Good point.
There are
Have
so
a
many
minivan,
cats.
We're not reenacting the trials and tribulations.
General, bring whichever ones you think could be helpful.
Well, obviously, it's the Baron and
Thomasina.
Thomasina.
Thomasina, yes.
I love this.
Don't forget Corsair Jackie.
Okay, then I guess we pile into Isaac's car with at least 3 magical cats.
I mean, is the Baron now just walking on 2 legs now?
Well, you might as well. You know his secret.
But we don't know exactly what he does, but we know that some of them are magical.
He only goes bipedal when he has to fight. Or reach stuff on high counters.
Oh,
I think
no.
Isaac was. I don't think Isaac was witness to the Baron.
No, we haven't seen the Baron do his stuff. Only
Secret.
Hal has. We've seen the General do stuff, but not the others.
Yeah.
I just asked the General to bring the best ones.
Hal has seen the Baron stand up and on his hind legs because he walked into a scene like in Lilo and Stitch where Stitch is opening the fridge. And then slams it shut and scuttles off with all the food.
Oh, that sounds about right. Man, that's a good movie. You have to be a real shitheel to not like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of bitch doesn't like Lilo and Stitch?
An
Probably some
asshole.
sort of racist white nationalist who follows Jordan Peterson.
What a cuck.
Topical. Let's go.
And by the way, listeners, when you hear me cough like that, it's because I have allergies and asthma, not because I have the virus. I
He has
hope.
been tested.
Couple of times. Anyway, going forward.
Hi, kitty.
Yeah. Pile
As-
into Isaac's car.
As we get into the car, I mean, it's canonical that it's a minivan by this point,
Yeah.
just because after the first mission, he's like, "Oh God, I'm gonna have to be driving all these people around. I better upsize." But
Secret Agent Man
And he-
drives around in a minivan.
he's like,
It was almost there.
it's just as like to lighten the mood. It's just like, it'd be hilarious if we're driving and we get to the witching hour. That would just be our luck.
It would be. But yeah,
We have a
as they-
completely different monster to deal with while Hal and the Mothman feel abducted by aliens.
Oh no! And yeah, as we go, Zoe's going to be doing her best to try and soothe Kaiko as best as she can. She's not very good at this. Trying. Also, I leveled up from convincing Kaiko. And yeah,
Actually, Celia helped because the initial help did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
work. It was Celia.
You got an experience point, Kay.
Ooh.
For
Oh shit! I
listening
leveled
to
up
me-
again.
For listening to me on my
Leveled
10,
up from the snake eyes.
I leveled up from doing my manipulate Kaiko.
I
That
leveled up
sounds
from-
so much worse than this.
I leveled up from being gourmand.
Oh, I get to choose another ability. Cool. I haven't even gotten to use my new one, and I get to use another one.
You can also take from other playbooks.
You know, I did that last level. I got Dark Negotiator.
What the fuck is that?
You can use to manipulate someone on monsters as long as they can.
You should have been wearing the suit.
Okay, no, I can't do the emotion thing like Hal can. I was
Okay.
going to try. Oh,
So, as you guys leave the bunker, what is your plan?
we're going to go to Makarla. We saw where
Okay.
she went.
Yep, you know where she is. Cool. Meanwhile, on the flying saucer.
Boy. Alright. I have to get this cat off my
Right.
lap so I can concentrate. Go on, kitty.
Um,
Sorry.
Hal,
Yes.
you are in a dark room with a green spotlight over you. The spotlight fades to a more warm yellowish light, but it still only lights up you and now Mothman, who has his wings wrapped around you.
Aww.
Huh. No.
I'm going to go ahead and display that I am completely harmless and I would like to speak. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm just here to communicate.
A light appears in the inky void, and slowly emerging out of it is a creature floating on what looks to be a metal skirt with a ridiculously thin waist, a sort of round sphere of a chest, long arms, sort of like Dr. Octopus's tentacles, and a giant fucking like flashing kaleidoscope patterned light ball for a head, or rather, it's clearly a sphere of metal or glass or something that's projecting all this light. But in the darkness, the light is so pulsating that it makes the head look like it's just a ball of light. And several more turn on their heads and emerge out of the gloom. And upon seeing Mothman, they raise their arms up, and you see lights glowing inside their palms.
Okay, I am rolling again for empathy to. Yeah, there we go. An 11. That's not bad. To
I wanted
project the most welcoming, we're here in peace color and emotion that I possibly can. So he turns like kind of a scintillating yellow mixed with blue.
All right. What'd you roll?
11.
Nice. Okay. The kaleidoscope men keep their arms rigid and pointed at Mothman, but the color patterns on their heads, which are always sort of pulsating and changing, now change and actually sync up with the pattern you're projecting.
So can I feel their emotions? I mean, it doesn't work as well on monsters, but it does work. I will get a foggy.
You get the sense that they have at least a vague understanding of what you're trying to imply. That you're saying we come in peace. And they're telling you that they have peaceful intent.
Okay.
While pointing their arms menacingly toward
Well, I hope this shit works, he whispers to Mothman. So, alright. The colors in Hal's suit start to change to an inquisitive color. He's asking exactly why he was taken from where he was.
Okay.
Do I have to roll for that again, or?
No, I'm gonna let the conversation, as it were, progress.
Okay.
The kaleidoscope men's heads change back to their normal pattern for a moment. And then the pattern changes again, different colors flow in. I am going to have you roll something to interpret what they're saying.
Okay.
Just want to figure out which one I want that to be.
This is a bad time to ask. But do I get to mark experience because I went somewhere by myself to check out something spooky?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll
This was a textbook doing what the mundane is supposed to do.
Holy shit, alright.
Do you have sensitive?
I have empath, is what I have.
You have empath.
Yes. That's why I can.
Okay, I'm gonna have you empath this time, not to communicate, but rather to interpret.
Okay. Hey, a 10.
Okay.
He's got a good bonus in weird, so.
They say they're looking for someone. It's hard to get precise things, like because it's not just a different language, but a completely different method of communicating than you've ever used. But someone altered is the best way you can kind of vibe out what it might be saying. And the images continue to flash, and they say that there are lots of altered people. It makes the search hard.
Oh, that's weird. But he's, again, in melody, so he's like, okay, that fits. So he kind of pauses, and...
The we mean no harm message flashes again.
Okay.
And it says something akin to, if you are not who we are looking for, we will send you back.
Okay. He's going to project as best as he can that who they're looking for might be frightened. No, I am frightened that they might be frightened because they don't know why they're being looked for.
The kaleidoscope men flash back. That's unfortunate.
Hal projects mean no harm, again, referring to somebody besides himself, like who they're looking for. He wants to make sure that they mean no harm in any way. Including terrifying them to the point of running.
The kaleidoscope men flash back that they do not mean to terrify, but they cannot help that beings on this planet do not know how to process them. That is why they are looking for the one they altered, so they can communicate without frightening, so they can communicate better. They will not harm the one they altered. They will celebrate the one they altered if it is successful. They will return the one they altered if it is not successful. But they need the one they altered.
I'm going to flash that it might be hard to convince them, but if he can, they will meet them in the park without, you know, being yanked into the sky. That might help.
And the Kaleidoscope Man, you can see they send some subtle messages to each other, some subtle changes that are hard to pick up on. The color flashing equivalent of a whisper. And then one steps forward and says, says, it flashes, "You know the one we are looking for?"
Hal, like, flashes that he might know. He's pretty sure that he knows exactly who it is, but they are so scared they will not come out unless they are convinced that they mean no harm first.
A deep, guttural noise, too complicated to be just a growl, but too horrifying to be like a human language, emerges from deep within Mothman as his eyes pulsate with light. And you see that all of the Kaleidoscope's men's heads register fear and alarm. The Kaleidoscope Man that's sort of leading the group backs away and then turns its ball head to you and flashes out, "Bring the one we are looking for. We will do no harm. We will meet at the time and place of your choosing. If you bring the one we are looking for, we will do no harm."
Hal flashes agreement as best as he can, because now he's kind of like... he's kind of like also freaked the fuck out. Because that was like, whoa, Mothman. But he does flash agreement as best as he possibly can.
The lead Kaleidoscope Man flashes something akin to "thank you," while the others are still stuck in fear and alarm mode. Their arms are back out, like, you know, aimed at Mothman. And the leader of the Kaleidoscope Men says that he will release you now. The green light turns back on again. The ground under your feet, or rather the metal plates under your feet, open up to reveal the ground below you, which is several hundred feet below. And the light shoots out and slowly drops you down.
Okay.
And eventually you land on a patch of dirt in the middle of the fucking woods.
Shit. Okay. Hal waits for...
Hal's about to become a new cryptid.
Is Mothman there with him?
Yes.
Hal waits for the flying saucer to leave, and then he's kind of like, "Mr. Mothman? Was that good?"
They were going to steal your brain.
Oh, of course they were.
They know you know. I told them not to.
Jesus!
Well, wow. Damn, Mr. Mothman, you are like my new best friend right now. And he kind of turns around, gives the Mothman a hug, and also gives him a little kiss on the cheek through the little mask.
Mothman's wings sort of draw back. Mothman says, Is not kindness. You helped me out when I was afraid."
That's fine, but dude, this is me returning,
Mothman pays his debt.
rejoicing in that kindness, and telling you that yeah, thanks for not letting them take my brain. I like that part of me.
Meanwhile, there's some guy in the middle of the woods freaking out as he sees a fucking Kaleidoscope Man and a Mothman get dropped from a UFO.
Shit.
Actually, you hear a banjo, and eventually you see emerging out of the woods is Southpaw Sam.
Oh.
It's just me, Mr. Southpaw. It's Hal. We fought your nasty cousin a couple weeks ago.
And Mothman emits some Sasquatch noises, to which Southpaw Sam responds with more Sasquatch noises. And Mothman takes off into the sky while Southpaw Sam approaches you and holds out his hand.
Oh.
Oh.
Hal gladly takes it, and he also yells at Mothman, "I see what you're doing. You're embarrassed."
Mothman's a tsundere.
And Southpaw Sam leads
stalking Hal.
And Southpaw Sam leads you out of the woods, to Baritone Park. Well, actually, to your house. He knows where you live.
Yeah.
Do you call us on the cell phone?
Of course he knows where you live. Sam just hangs out with Hal at his house.
Yeah, that's official now. That's canon now.
Yeah, do you check your cell phone, Hal?
Yeah, is it broken?
Yeah, that shit is fried. It took a lot of radiation.
Shit. I'm gonna have to actually use my landline.
You have a landline?
Don't worry, Hal. Kaiko left you a backup cell phone.
It's an old farmhouse. That shit's,
It's
That's
grandfathered
okay.
in.
It's okay. It's okay. Kaiko left Hal with backup cell phones because he constantly has bad internet.
Meanwhile, a half hour or so in the past, because you were pretty fucking far in the woods.
Yeah, we're heading towards Yeah.
The rest of the gang arrives at the Melody radio/TV station. You get to the doors, and the doors are locked. The lights are off, although you can see a light from the station, like the basement. It has windows that are like at the very top of the rooms in the basement and at the very bottom of the building. You know how that sometimes happens with buildings, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You do see lights from one of the basement rooms, but the doors to the station are locked.
Zoe's going to go to the window and knock on it.
When you go to the window in the basement, you see that Miranda Esper is sitting on the set of Midnight Monster Madness, or whatever the fuck I called it. It's a lot of M's. Why did I do this to myself? She's sitting there, sort of semi in the fetal position on the, Elvira-esque Chase lounge. Coffin
mood.
Couch.
Yeah, poor Kaiko.
And when she hears the knock on the window, she literally fucking jumps out of her seat.
Oh.
Zoe,
Yes?
maybe we should be gentle.
And she sees you in the window, and the panic in her face immediately turns to like not super strong anger, but anger. And you don't quite hear the words, but you definitely realize that she is shouting, "What the fuck?"
She mouths back, "I'm sorry." Need help.
She rubs the bridge of her nose, and then gestures with her hand while mouthing something that isn't quite as distinct as "what the fuck." What you can probably guess is like, what do you guys want?
Remember, Zoe, remember, we break this gently.
How do I do that? I was not terrible with Kaiko. You do it. You're better at this.
She sees you guys talking to each other by the window, rolls her eyes, holds up one finger as if to say, wait, and then leaves the room. 5 minutes later, you hear the front door of the station unlock and open.
Okay. That's easier.
Okay.
Get the fuck in!
Celia rushes in, looks her in the eye and says, "Hal was kidnapped, what the hell do we do?"
Whoa. Whoa, Isaac steps forward, hand on Celia's shoulder, whoa.
Zoe is going to lead Kaiko, rubbing her back, making sure she's not hyperventilating.
As soon as you're all in, she slams the fucking door shut, immediately locks it, puts a chair up against the door that you realize had been up there before. sighs and says, "Let's have this conversation in the basement."
That's fair. Yeah, as long as you don't mind like the cats coming with us.
In any other context, that would be creepy.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see
No,
what
I
Miranda
mean-
Esper's basement looks like.
When it's in the context of like you're hanging out with your friend who has a really cool basement that allows you to get away from your parents because you're teenagers, let's have this conversation in the basement is a perfectly normal thing to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially because it's followed by like watching horror movies that your parents wouldn't approve of, but they're not watching, so no one
It's
knows.
a perfectly normal thing for a 60-something-year-old woman to say to an underage teenager.
Yeah, the only underage teenager there.
So,
Mind if I take your cats?
Yeah, fine. There's like a brief
cat
flicker
should
of what
stand
the fuck in
perimeter?
her face, but clearly there's more pressing weird shit to the question, so.
We should station the cats as a perimeter.
That's a good idea. Okay,
Keep an eye out.
guys, you guys stay up here. Some of you stay up here, and if anything happens, you send a message through the general to us, okay?
Oh.
She salutes the cats.
Does the fucking Baron salute back?
He looks almost like he would, but
Aw.
there are other people present.
Paul lifts a little bit.
Okay, so he like pushes everyone to go and follow Macarla, but then after everyone is gone, she looks back one last time.
The Baron stands up and salutes.
Her eyes just like bulge out of her head, but she keeps going. She.
Alright. You are at the set of Miranda Esper's Midnight Monster Show again, for like the second time in the course of your adventures. After hours at night. This time with fucking Macarla, Mistress of Midnight herself. Albeit not in her outfit.
Just on sheer instinct, Celia checks the hole in the tree prop for anything scary.
There's a couple of puppets in there.
She sighs and nods.
We're sorry.
So you said your friend was kidnapped?
Yes. By the people.
By the
aliens.
kaleidoscope men.
Yes, that! I remembered their names. This is in character freaking out.
Yeah, and that's Miranda helping you with your sentence.
Okay.
We got him he was wearing a suit designed to communicate with cuttlefish through colors.
Wait, what?
Miranda nods
Okay.
knowingly.
Developed for the cuttlefish incident in Mexico. I don't know if you were ever briefed on that. Or no, the Bahamas is the Bahamas.
Why are you talking to me like I...
create a
What?
Never mind. Anyways, we had something, a communication device to communicate with these things, and they abducted the person who was using it.
Yeah. We severed this really strong cord we were using to hold him back. And then Mothman flew out and tried to save him, I guess? And got abducted too?
Wait, what?
It's always the Mothman detail that just throws things into absurdity.
You know that gif of Carrie Elwes where where he blinks, does something with his lips, turns his head to a side, and then just turns it back and looks up like, yep, okay. That's what Miranda Esper does. Just that brief millisecond of the fuck, okay? Alright.
Look, okay, you know, Kaiko, what's our boss's name again?
Oren Magoria.
Thank you. You know Oren, he's about this type of stuff.
You're breaking up. Can you say that again?
She had to turn to Kaiko and ask who what Orin's name was because she forgot. He's like, you used to work with Orin. He talks about weird shit all the time. You had to know about stuff like this.
When Orin and I were young,
Vigorously nods.
Orin liked to investigate the paranormal, and I was his... She takes a second before saying the word friend, and I liked to go with him. And we saw some very strange things, which Orin has written about extensively. But as you've just discovered, investigating the paranormal is not all fun. It's dangerous, especially in this town, where so many different strange things happen at once.
Look, a couple of us have almost died already. We are well aware it's not safe.
I'm not telling you right now that it's not safe, you shouldn't do it, because obviously you didn't listen when I told you that last time. I'm telling you that it's not safe, and that's why I stopped doing it. Because I found out some things I didn't want to find out.
Fair.
And she sighs, but in a way this is sort of my fault, because I'm the one they're looking for, not your friend Hal.
We figured, but we respected your choice to come here safe, but now they took Hal, and you're the only one who knows anything.
They're not going to want your friend Hal. They're going to return him eventually, just like they did that young girl, and they're going to keep searching for other people until they find who they're looking for.
God, what if Hal has radiation burns?
He shouldn't. He shouldn't. We use.
Oh, hey, Kaiko and Hal get to be buddies now. Even more buddies.
Oh. Zoe, who was hugging Kaiko to the side, and is now squeezing kind of tight.
That wasn't in character, by the way. Kaiko would never say that.
Yeah. So he's kind of squeezing Kaiko kind of tight now.
I think just as he should be fine, we used one of the radiation suits as the basis.
Does it mean they won't... She slams her mouth shut.
Don't
So
think
they
about
took
them
your friend,
stripping
right?
Hal.
I mean, Kaiko did when she was like 14 or 15, but...
Wow.
Oh.
First things first.
Wow.
Let this be a
Kaiko
lesson
is
to
that
you.
age, okay?
First thing first, let this be a lesson to you. Don't fuck with aliens.
Another vigorous
Second,
nod.
they're going to figure out pretty quick that Hal isn't the person they want. They're going to keep searching for other people that they do want, so... There's a pretty clear solution to this problem.
Okay, so... Are you half alien?
She gives you a withering glare.
Okay,
Wow, just
look,
go out there and say it!
Okay, look, the guy who picked me up off the street just got sucked up by a UFO. I'm sorry if I'm a little abrasive right now. It is an honor to meet you, but I am terrified for the guy who saved me from sleeping in the park.
Go back home.
Yes.
Nora,
Yeah.
so Zoe gets the feeling that if Kaiko had her faculties right now, she'd be giving you the most what the fuck glare.
Zoe has admitted she's not good at this, and she's freaking out.
Miranda takes the sass in stride and says, I'm going to offer you some comfort. There are worse things to get abducted by than the kaleidoscope men.
Okay. Kaiko immediately knee-jerks immensely.
Like
There are
what?
far worse aliens out there. There are far worse visitors to our plane out there.
Zoe does side-eye.
If
Kaiko's
you
scars.
want to learn more about that, talk to Orin. He kept a very extensive bestiary.
Maybe we will.
Hal will
Ooh.
probably be returned sometime tonight or sometime tomorrow. I would suggest looking for missing person sightings, talking to the police, You
Meanwhile,
will find him. He will be okay.
so does Kaiko's phone ring like at exactly this moment or something?
It hasn't been 20 minutes yet.
Oh.
Once you get Hal, stop investigating this because the abductions are going to stop tomorrow. All right?
How do you know that?
I'm going to make them stop.
Oh.
Okay, no, that is not the easy solution here.
There's only one way this ends, and that's if they get what they want, and they've been looking for it for a very long time, so...
We can figure this out together.
What do they want with you?
I don't know. I've never let them get me before.
Okay, do you know what do you know about them?
They communicate in flashes of color.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to communicate with us for decades and have not had much success because we communicate with sound.
Okay,
And they've been trying to find a way to bridge that gap.
and that's you.
Maybe. They did something to me. I'd rather not go into the specifics, but
Oh.
Oh,
and I don't wholly know exactly what they did and why and all of that, but there's one way to find out.
okay, we're not going to shove
Yeah,
you to them.
You're not.
Okay, we're not
You're
going to
gonna
let
go
you do that
home,
either.
and you're gonna take care of your friend. Listen, I'm the adult here. I outrank you. I've got decades
I
on
don't
you.
care that you're the adult here.
Meanwhile,
okay?
Isaac is just sitting there.
I don't care if
Is
you're the
this the
adult here.
second time you've done that? Are you under the impression we're teenagers?
I mean, I am.
Are you under the impression that I'm not 60?
I mean, to be fair, you don't look 60.
Thank you. That's very... No.
Okay, listen. I don't listen to adults well. Again, living in the park.
I noticed when I told you guys not to investigate this, you did, and your friend got abducted. So you can choose to listen to me or not. Either way, I'm doing what I have as a right as a do. I'm going to end this so that your friends doesn't get abducted anymore.
And we're not
So that
going
no one
to.
else does, so that this comes to an end.
This didn't happen because we were investigating it. This happened because we figured out who the next abductee was going to be and tried to stop it from happening.
Did you?
Yes, it was going to be a kid. I'm not just going to stand by and let them take a kid.
Yeah, that's good. Congrats. No, seriously. Good. Good job.
You're patronizing us. We killed a Bigfoot.
I just feel that you're ignoring the fact that one of your friends got abducted in the process.
Yeah, okay. That's why we're here. We're here for help from someone who themselves says they know more about this and have dealt with this more. We're not going to.
I know how to evade them. So far, I don't know how to get on board their ship. That's the opposite of what I've been trying to do. Now is when the phone rings.
Kaiko jumps out of her seat.
Zoe falls over because she was hugging Kaiko.
Celia just steadies her.
Ow!
Does she answer the phone? Hello?
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, Kaiko.
Oh my god! Are you,
So
you hear like 100 miles an hour like questions and hyperventilated thought.
Hal just kind of lets her go.
Okay, yeah, that was a dumb question.
So are you done? One at a time. Yes, I'm off the alien spaceship. No, I am not half dead. I am at my house. I spoke to the aliens. And I negotiated that they meet with Miss Miranda without yanking her into their spaceship.
Is Mothman okay?
Mothman is great and also my best friend now because he stopped them from taking my brain out.
By the way, Kaiko has this on
That's on
speaker
speaker?
now.
Wait, they did what?
Yes, this is
They
the
were
phone
on
on
what?
speaker.
They were gonna take
Thank you,
my
Kai.
brain out to find out where Miranda was, but Mothman told him to fuck off, I guess. And it was pretty
I
great.
mean, brain extraction is a pretty standard procedure for extraterrestrials.
Slow turns to Isaac.
Sometimes they put them back.
I mean,
Stares at Isaac.
Right.
checks
Like,
out the
we're
Migo.
actually, like,
I mean, you've heard of the Miskatonic Migo, have you not?
No.
So yeah, they're gonna behave themselves when they meet Miss Miranda because I told them that she really didn't want to meet with them. So they're gonna meet on our terms instead.
what a coincidence. We just managed to convince her that she needs to meet with them.
We didn't really convince her. It was more she decided enough's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take
I
your
mean,
victories where
our
you want
presence here was the catalyst.
So is she there? Can she hear
them.
me
Yeah,
right now?
hi,
You're on
I'm here.
speaker.
Hi. They're not
Your
gonna be
friends are on my
assholes. Promise they're not gonna be assholes because I'm pretty sure they all peed themselves when Mothman growled at them. So they're gonna behave and meet you like, civilized people and not yank you into their spaceship. I have this really cool suit. It will probably fit you. I mean, it'll be baggy because I'm huge and you're not. So, but
Whoa.
you can meet them on your own terms if you want. I'm a little
Looking there.
shaken up because, I just got my ass yanked into a spaceship and then Mothman hugged me for half an hour.
You're not burned or anything, are you?
Did they do anything?
No, they were gonna, like I said, they were gonna take my brain out, but Mothman was there and he's like, no, fuck off.
They said something about celebrating you.
Good, Hal. I'm glad you're okay. Your friends were very worried about you.
Oh, it's nice.
I may or may not have yelled at Mistress McCarla and feel really bad now.
Yeah, you should
You
apologize for that.
you said they want to organize a meeting.
Yeah, they're gonna meet in the park, and they're not, like I said, they're not gonna just take you up off the street in their spaceship, because I told them that that's kind of rude.
All right. What time?
I believe it was tomorrow night in the park, like, in the wooded bits, just a little off from the left side.
All right. Thank you. I'll be there.
Okay, get
Is
Kaiko.
Kaiko's flake thing going off when she says that?
Your what thing?
The flake thing.
Is she
That if
lying?
we-
No, she's not lying at all.
Okay, good.
Is she
Okay.
staring at the phone going, what the fuck?
So we have a plan?
Yes.
Okay. Kaiko, you doing any well? You doing any better?
Better.
Kaiko,
Okay.
that was amazing. And she hugs Kaiko. And even though Kaiko's technically older, she picks her up off the ground a little bit.
You're gonna have to roll something because Kaiko's also taller than you.
Is she?
Kaiko's 6 something.
Oh, okay, fair.
She's just,
Yeah, I'm gonna,
just under Hal, I think.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
gonna try and... Okay, what should I roll for that?
Celia will help.
Kaiko is 6 something and is pretty athletic.
So should I just roll tough?
Yes.
Oh
Celia will
no.
help.
Oh God, I got a 2.
I got a 12. Don't worry.
Celia can, but
Zoe
Celia
tries.
suplexes.
Zoe tries and fails, and then Celia lifts them both up.
hilariously enough, Kaiko has -1 the top.
So do I.
So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm at my house and I'm gonna make some macaroni and cheese and sit and contemplate my life right now. All right?
Is there banjo music playing in the background?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. There is a distant sound of banjo music as if Southpaw Sam is lurking in the woods nearby.
Alright, say hi to Sam for us.
I am. I'm making extra for him, so. I'm also making extra for Mothman if he ever shows back up, because he just kind of flew off when I hugged him. I think I freaked him out.
Aw, he's a little
not used to
tsundere,
physical
isn't
affection.
he?
So yeah.
Speaking of tsundere, Miss Esper?
Oh, shit!
He's like face bombs.
Damn.
I'm afraid of what the future holds, so I'm gonna get this out there now. Being in the room with you right now is probably the coolest thing I've ever done. And I once sword fought a John Carpenter monster.
Yeah, I yelled at you. I'm very sorry, but this is really cool.
Miranda has a sort of a sad little smile. And she gets off her coffin couch and goes to the tree and opens it up and takes out some of the puppets and says, "Here, let me show you some of the props."
Aww.
And she actually, spends like a good 25, however long you guys want to stay, showing you all the backstage stuff, the various costumes and things, talking about concepts for the show, essentially giving you a backstage tour.
Aww. Celia is absolutely giddy about this.
I'm glad you like my show.
Watch it every night. I'm able to.
Thank you. It's nice to know I'm leaving something behind.
Hey, no. We're not letting them take you. This is a talk. We heard the stories. They can be hurt if needs be. I don't think that's a good idea, but we're not just gonna let them take you. Kaiko's got a gun.
And as you
Kaiko's got a gun! She's got a gun!
One thing I kind of calm down, it's like, and hearing that, oh, a certain someone has a lot of knowledge about aliens, including something much
Yeah.
worse.
That he had kind of give stuff away.
say what?
Isaac gave stuff away. About he knows the.
So did Miranda about Orin, which I think is what.
Oh
That's
yeah.
an Oren.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kaiko knows about the Mygo. Okay, it's an HP Lovecraft story, Sora.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
That's
a
a
cryptid.
Lovecraft.
I thought it was a cryptid. I'm sorry.
It was we were doing an HP Lovecraft reference.
I thought it was a cryptid. I'm sorry.
I mean, it can be a cryptid if we just make enough people believe in it.
I mean, technically, the word Mygo is just the Tibetan term for Yeti that HP Lovecraft culturally appropriated. So,
Yeah, I think there's an alternate pronunciation that's used in the movie Smallfoot.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not gonna let it take you.
Okay.
And as you
Hey,
as you said
you
before,
by
these are
yourself
the ones
evaded them
that
this
actually,
Isaac.
these are the ones that communicate. So we have for us.
Plus, and yeah, Kaiko's pondering if they knew that people altered here were taken by north, it could probably scare them away.
now that we have a time and a place, we can actually use a trap that will work. At where we had the trap already set.
Alright.
Yeah, we do have that trap sitting there. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work because
They burned it. They burned the.
they burned the cord we had at the shelter, not the trap.
And that was a huge, a damn good cord.
Yeah, true.
Some poor
almost like they're
jogger
space
just gonna
aliens with advanced
happen
technology.
across it.
Hey, I still succeeded in my
Find it and
roll.
like get trapped inside it.
We could try and rework the trap. I don't know. We'll meet you before it's time to go.
Yeah. I'll most likely be in my apartment. I'm staying here for the night, so you guys can... I'll see you out. And she leads you guys upstairs, moves the chair, unlocks the door, lets you out, and when you leave, you hear the door lock and then the sound of the chair being placed underneath it. Okay. So let's flash forward to the morning. It's a beautiful sunny day. How are you guys going to prepare for meeting some aliens tonight?
I am going to run to the bathroom before we do that. You guys can go.
Let's take a break while we think that out.
Okay.
Heavy stuff.
Hal isn't even going to care that the Mothman likes to creep in the trees outside and stare into his bedroom anymore. He doesn't care anymore. That's fine.
Mothman's earned it.
Also, wow, Kaiko. Holy shit.
She was 14, and how was the only male-related friend she had at the time?
Holy shit. Damn.
Oh,
I was a 14-year-old once. I was thinking of things about my peers I really shouldn't have, but puberty.
Oh my god. It's just like perfectly timed. This shit was really funny. What? No. That is a really cute Anguirus.
It's really cute.
As I was organizing my medicine for the morning, it occurs to me, I'm on a lot of freaking medication.
It happens.
Blood pressure, stomach acid pH, anxiety, estrogen, anti-androgen.
No salt, none of that. Okay.
So, trying to figure, since Kaiko has dropped that, Oren might know of something worse than the kaleidoscope then. And Mothman also said the thing that took her was worse.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
Back.
one of her main goals is trying to put name to face or name to traumatic experience. And maybe, just maybe, at knowing, hey, these things muck around in the same area too is probably be a sign for them to. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So Kaiko's work tomorrow, so that's probably time to talk with boss.
Yeah.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
There's this music video called Cartoons and Vodka, which honestly kind of makes me think of Miranda Esper.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay, what happened?
Which I will
We
link
took
in
a
the
break.
chat now.
Okay.
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 So it's the
Nora?
following morning.
Very fucking nice Kaiko stuff tonight.
Are we all here, by the way?
I believe so.
I think so.
Are we? Okay.
Sound off?
Hi.
Yo.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey?
Okay.
Yep.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
I was talking to you. Of course I'm here.
I have ADD.
Yeah, it happens.
Also, that is an adorable Anguirus.
It is
It
really
is.
cute. Oakley dokley. So, it's the following day. Birds are singing. Bees are having sex with flowers. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful sunny day. How are you preparing for meeting some aliens tonight?
Celia's
Well-
practicing swings with her katana,
Yay!
which her
Chop their
family
heads off.
is now realizing that she owns.
Her sister walks in and she's doing it. It shakes her head. I always do one.
I always knew you were. Yeah.
Celia have a dad?
Nope.
Alright.
She has an aunt. An aunt and a little sister.
Shame I can't have a dad come and say, "Hey, sport, you practicing with Naruto?" Only in my wildest dreams.
And you could have an aunt do that.
Oh, Celia, are you practicing
at all.
with Naruto's?
Aunt Rico, why do you sound like that?
No, I come from the Stan Lee school of ants, where I'm automatically a corpse.
Have you
It's
been
a
hitting
still
the
living
sauce
corpse because
again?
Marvel won't let her fucking die.
That's
Rico,
also
have
a
you been
joke on
hitting
how
the sauce?
Steve Ditko drew Aunt May like she was the fucking crypt keeper. I'm sorry, I
yeah, I
have
guess
this old
last-
age makeup and I wanted to use it.
It's fairly convincing, I guess.
Thank you.
I mean,
We have just answered a lot of questions about Celia with that interaction.
meanwhile,
Meanwhile.
Kaiko is going to be heading in to have some discussions of trying to figure out coming or clean about her.
Oh, hey,
Hey.
Kaiko.
Have you seen Oren at all?
Yeah, for like 10 minutes.
Where
I
did
got
he
a
go?
phone call when he rushed out the door and told me it's one of the days where I have to do full manager duties.
Oh, good.
Plus that I'm getting some overtime. That'll make up for how often I had to pay into the various jars that Celia set up.
Well, I need to. Oh, I'm calling in sick today, so
Oh, you came into work to call sick?
I thought it'd be polite.
Okay.
My phone's down right now, so
Huh. What are your symptoms?
too real, TT.
I mean, you are here in the flesh, so, like...
I'm social distancing, aren't I?
What? What? That place
I
doesn't
believe.
exist in this world? Tycho, you can tell me things! We've been working here! You know the boss is chill, you don't have to make up a lie! Tycho! Okay, you're gone. Just me and the reptiles. What do you think of Duchess Scissorjaw? Yeah, you eat that chunk of meat.
I was imagining all three of them staring at him.
Longingly.
Oh no.
They're plotting to see who gets the opportunity to eat them first.
Oh.
So, do you guys think I might have a shot with Margot Robbie, or is that just not gonna happen?
Depends. Did you drink your Respect Women juice?
Yeah, but I can always drink more.
Oh.
I'd, try and pace yourself up to a lot larger dosage and then see how you feel.
Okay. Thank you, imaginary voice of Duchess Scissorjaw that I have in my head sometimes.
Oh no!
Tell him nothing,
Sounds
Tycho.
exactly like Celia.
Celia's in the terrarium on the other side.
Jesus, Celia.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so,
Zoe is prepping the cats for battle.
we're still fighting aliens with cats.
It's all I have, okay?
It's a crazy idea, but, I mean, brought them down in that one book, so it's possible.
What?
I mean, there's one story where aliens get brought down by Randy Quaid, so, you know, cats are at least twice as competent as Randy Quaid.
And we have magic cats.
Since Kaiko can't get a hold of... Yeah.
You know what aliens don't prepare for? Magic cat attacks.
It's
Well, yeah, aliens are sci-fi. They have no defense against magic.
It's true, that's why Superman can be killed by Zatanna.
Exactly!
Oh my god.
Fucking Christ.
Working on DC Comics rules.
Science non-fiction beats magic. That's why you can defeat an evil sorcerer by shouting the names of sciences.
Zoe has also asked some of the cats to not leave Hal's side. I mean, I imagine they're at his side all the time anyway, but still. Don't let him out of your sight. If you see any bright lights, tackle him and drag him back in the house for all I care.
Wow.
Bitch, you try it. I buy your food.
So can I. I give you guys treats.
So does Hal.
I buy them.
So could I.
The general looks at you both like you're fucking nuts, which cats are very good at doing.
Look, Hal.
You do realize you're talking to a cat, right? You're idiots.
Look, Hal. Look,
As
I
if,
was
you know,
terrified.
the general gives you an expression as like, I'm a cat, as if anything you tell me is something I'm going to do if I don't want to.
That's fair. That's fair. God, how weird has my life become in such a short amount of time?
Hell is just like, it's pretty normal to me.
That one stood up and saluted me.
Yeah?
What do you mean, yeah?
Yeah, he does that. Hal has lived in Melody his entire life with these cats. There is nothing weird about this. He doesn't know what's your problem, Zoe. There's nothing weird about this.
There's nothing weird about a cat standing on two legs and sitting here.
Absolutely
Or another-
nothing.
Or a cat dying and just being there the next day. Or one being strong enough to fuck up Bigfoot.
Exactly. There's nothing weird.
Nothing weird. So eventually, these things will stop freaking me out. But that
Probably.
day is not today.
Soon they'll just fade into the background radiation of your light.
If things continue like this,
Like like the background radiation on Nico's face.
ooh,
Ow.
damn. You should talk to Kaiko.
I did, but she said she had somebody to fuck up this morning, so I left
Oh.
her to do that.
Wait, what?
In Kaiko words, that's what that meant.
Ah.
I mean, you do speak Kaiko.
Okay, so Zoe and Hal are preparing the cats. Kaiko is...
Kaiko does not know what to do right now. So she's just gonna head home and
Bring your
On
gun.
yeah, like what's that gonna do against aliens, Dora?
We
Celia's
saw
practicing
they were-
her sword moves. Isaac, what are you doing?
Yeah, but that sword's magic.
I was gonna say that last night when Isaac was probably jumping on Zoe at Hal's place, that he would have checked Hal for like radiation burns. See
Okay.
if the suit held up.
Positive side of last night, Hal does not have radiation burns. There is, he is mildly irradiated, but not in a particularly dangerous way. Something that you might want to keep, you might want him to go to the doctor at some point, just to make safe. But,
Like get him some rat, some rat away from Spindle.
the Geiger counter would say that there is some radiation here, but nowhere near a dangerous.
I'm like a microwave potato. It's safe
And
to
then-
eat me.
And then in the morning, Isaac would have called Mallory to see what went down with the entrepreneur.
I took him home. He's a latchkey kid, so there wasn't a conversation with the parents, thankfully, though that kind of sucks for him. He seemed... Latchkey kid's like a kid who goes home, takes a key from out from under the carpet or under the latch or what have you, unlocks their house, and then eats dinner alone until their parent comes home at like 9 p.m.
Aw.
Aww.
Yeah, it's a term for a specific kind of poverty that affects children.
Aw.
Aww.
'Cause, like-
handling the whole. Sorry.
Like from an education standpoint and like a social working standpoint, a latchkey kid, they're not going to be able to say get help with their homework from their parent. They are in some ways like seemingly more responsible than other kids because they have to fend for themselves a little bit. Which isn't to say their parents are irresponsible. Their parents are struggling with poverty. It's a thing. Like Ichiro in Godzilla's Revenge is a latchkey kid.
This episode of Melody, aliens and realism.
Basically, they in some ways fend for themselves more. They also have no at-home support network.
Yeah. Because their parents are too busy working their asses off to try and keep the house afloat. Or the apartment.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we have a new long-term series goal. Or some more financial stability.
Yes.
Which makes the fact that the entrepreneur was raising money to help his friend with her hospital bills kind of heartbreaking.
Oh.
They even help himself.
And would
he's doing
explain his
that.
motivation for for selling so much.
Oh.
Fucking bankrolling. Between our party, we're bankrolling that kid.
Oh, we got the team mascot now. Move over, General.
Especially since you found out that his homemade creations apparently work as currency for Mothman.
Mothman has saved twice.
Yeah.
Of his own volition. Actually, he saved him 3 times now, hasn't he?
Was it 3?
He's looked out for that little kid, yeah.
Aw. He's Hal's best friend now. Oh yeah, so you hugged Mothman?
Yeah.
You're being fair.
He prevented aliens from taking my brain out.
I mean, yeah,
Oh.
that's fair. I'm just...
Also, Nora, did Zoe text Kaiko and bring the gun?
Oh, yes.
All right, Kaiko responds with, "It works on rock paper scissors rules. Mundane beats magic. Magic beats sci-fi. Sci-fi beats mundane. A gun ain't gonna do shit."
In the bold letters, I mean fair.
The incident with the steel beam does kind of bring some truth to that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm still interested in what Isaac is doing beyond the checkup at night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was just gonna ask how the kid was handled the whole another brush with the paranormal. Like if this was he seemed completely unfazed by it.
I didn't grill him.
At least from her.
I didn't grill him. He seems a little scared, reasonably so, like not completely traumatized. I would argue maybe a little less scared than I'd expect him to be.
And he's a Melody native. I think he kind of they've got a natural resistance to this kind of thing.
I'm wondering if this isn't his first rodeo.
It's right there.
No, fun fact, we actually helped him escape a Sasquatch abduction.
Well, that would explain it, I guess. Well, the kid seems fine, so... Gave him a couple of comic
Need to
books.
sit him down and talk to him about it anymore. It's not worked out for him.
Yeah, it might be smart to someone of our HR personnel to give him a little chat.
That kid's more popular with monsters than Fay Ray.
Well, thank you again for the assistance. The suit seems to have worked out perfectly. Hal, after being abducted, was able to communicate with them and
You got him back?
negotiations. Yeah, I actually dropped them off after the Mothman apparently threatened them. So the
Oh, okay.
feedback, minor radiation saturation.
Do you want me to check him out?
Yeah, that might be good. I was gonna see if we could get some of the rat scrubbers from work, but
Yeah,
You would probably do that.
I'm off at 1 p.m. I'll come over after that.
Did you almost say Rad Scorpion?
no, I was trying to say rat scrubber, but
You did almost
I
say
might have
Red
almost said red scorpion. Yeah. Yeah, I'll text my cousin and see if he's cool with you swinging by his place. Oh yes, and I'll definitely go drop off your application. Forgot about that.
Good.
Isaac was actually wanting to go talk to Oren.
All right, cool. Do you head over to the Wax Museum?
I imagine he gets there right as Kaiko's leaving.
Yeah, sure. I can say that works out.
So see Oren inside?
You get to the Wax Museum just as Kaiko is leaving the building.
And when you get there, you can hear a voice coming from somewhere in Duchess Scissorjaw's tank. And that's why Celia deserves half your earnings.
Yeah, your logic's pretty undefeatable. Wouldn't want to disappoint my favorite giant turtle.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Isaac just kind of whispers to Kaiko, Celia's gonna ruin that man's life.
What's there to ruin, really?
It's cheese.
Curse of the NPC.
This, like, the job, like, Kaiko knows, like, this job isn't the main thing he's supporting himself with, so what is he supporting himself with? What even is he?
Simon Egbert, like the Wax Museum itself, could be considered one of Oren Magoria's charity projects.
Listen, he was the son of a friend. And Kaiko says when he says he's out because of a phone call. Hello?
Hello.
What did you say?
I said Kaiko tells Bill that no. Basically, she reiterates what she was told where Orin is.
Okay,
tells
I
him.
was hoping. I was needing to talk to him, or wanting to talk to him.
Yeah, you've all got some pretty good reasons to chat up old Oren. Wonder where he's gone.
If I had to guess, maybe.
Leaving my apartment this morning, did I see his car at...
Would you recognize Oren's car?
It's Oren's car.
I don't
That's
know.
true.
I've been here. Been here plenty of times.
Yeah, but Oren parks out back, not out front.
Eh.
But you know, you could go back to your apartment and check.
there's no more Abby.
Well, no. Isaac kind of says, probably with Miranda. Be at the studio, so.
That makes sense.
And so at this point, Kaiko gets the text about the gun.
Kaiko aggressively texts back. Oops.
Isaac just watches like, oh, must have been something like.
Yeah, you get the whole spiel.
Fantasy beats.
Isaac's just like nodding along. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah.
Medea's magic.
So, Simon, not to gossip, but how do you think Kaiko thinks of Celia?
Well, I mean, there's obviously an underlying attraction.
Suddenly I want to drown an egghead.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. I mean, there's sort of that, you know, jock nerd rescue romance vibe going on.
Jesus.
And they can both relate on the fact that they're dealing with disabilities in a world that's not exactly kind to those with disabilities.
Oh,
You could make a strong point, Simon.
And plus, they're always looking out for each other. I mean, not as much as, you know, Kaiko and Hal, but that's more of a brother-sister sort of thing.
This is very awkward to listen to.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Kaiko isn't even there to.
Yeah.
I just like messing with Simon now.
I mean, you know, he's the Ted of our group.
Fucking shit.
So we know where Orin was? Sorry, I cut off.
You don't. You've got a couple of potential guesses.
Right. Check out the studio. I was also wanting to just touch base with Miranda.
All right, you go to the studio. It's during the day.
Kaiko go with?
Yeah.
It's during the day. There's lots of people about. The radio station room has the light on, so they're recording. You pass by like the guy who does the weather, or is it a Garrel? I look at my private NPC list. It's a woman. Yeah, Haley Winters, the woman, passes you by. There's actually a good number of people, crew, technicians, and all that working today because this is the local news station, amongst other things. And a secretary at the front desk sees you two enter and says, You need something, fellas?"
Be right back.
Friends of Miranda's just looking to see if she was in today.
She ain't recording tonight, kiddo. In fact, she's canceled her show this weekend, so. Said a family issue came up.
That's what we were needing to talk to her about.
Well, I'd suggest talking to her somewhere else, because she ain't here.
Thanks for your time, ma'am.
You feel a hand on your shoulder, Isaac. And when you turn around, you see a 50-year-old man of a somewhat wrinkled face, who's balding. He's got a bare patch on the top of his head and white hair, and he says, "Hello, son. Have you heard the good news about the Lord?"
Oh no.
Oh God, what?
I don't think I've seen you in my flock. You're not one of those Catholics, are you?
Oh God.
Reverend Daniel Orobstu, at your service, man.
Charm?
Daniel, you're not allowed to recruit in the studio, you know that. No. Shelley, you know that the good Lord never waits. Son, do you know about the lake of fire that awaits sinners? Daniel, we've talked about this. You don't want to get your show canceled. If you cancel my show, there will be the wrath of God upon this studio. The wrath of God. Hey, Daniel, shut up. We're on the air.
And there's like motioning to Kaiko, like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm impressed that it took this long for that side of Mel up.
Mm-hmm. The two of you escape unharmed.
The true monster of this.
Unharmed, but not unshaken.
I'm back.
Missed the crazy religious nut.
What happened was, turns out Miranda is not in the studio today, and in fact, she's canceled the taping of her show, which actually happens later in the day than, like, 10 a.m. And then you encountered Reverend Daniel Orobstu, who tried to convert the two of you to his church, only to get shouted down by the other people working there, because his voice was too loud, and they are on the air. And then you two made a hasty retreat.
Unharmed, but haunted.
Was Sam's encounter? Alright.
After everything Kaiko's recently gone through, she has serious doubts in God.
All right.
Isaac was actually going to want to ask Kaiko something while they were driving.
Uh-huh.
I have a redundant question, but you holding up any better?
Kaika. Yeah.
Aw. We all care about our Kaiko.
No, it can't be easy. You might call your sister after this?
You mind if he calls, or?
Oh, he's asking if Kaiko's going to reach out to her sister after this whole thing.
That's complicated. Because her sister's currently on a case. And Kaiko doesn't like bugging her. Nonetheless, bugging her to bring up past traumas that... And Kaiko feels that bringing up the more paranormal elements of it only infuriates her sister, who's trying to find the legit source of it.
Mm.
And her anxiety is telling her that, oh, if I bring this up, my sister thinks I'm making light of what happened to them and me.
Aww.
Aww.
Which may or may not be true, but it's mostly a Nani Lilo situation going on right now.
Yeah. God, that's a good movie.
God, that's a good movie.
Really
Such a
good.
movie.
That's such a good movie. Anyone who says Lee Brat should be hanged.
By the neck until dead.
No, just by the neck forever. Choking endlessly.
Does this mean Isaac's going to become Cobra Bubbles?
Yes!
I mean, you already are. You became Cobra Bubbles the moment you said you knew her sister.
Itty bitty, what are you doing? Get off there.
Isaac would just say, it might be worth just... maybe not even bring this up, but... Maybe, like, getting an outside voice to talk to might be helpful? I don't know. Sorry if bringing it up is awkward.
Because Kaiko's mind is all right now is on Esper, the Kaleidoscope Man, them taking people, them taking Hal, and the fact that something worse than them took her.
Yeah.
I'll bet it was the Boltons.
Yeah, the kaleidoscope don't mean harm.
If I'm silent, it's because I'm eating right now. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So you guys arrive at Isaac's. While you're there, Kaiko, you recognize.
there's his
Because you're
car.
there enough. It is. It's like a sedan. Well, it's a hatchback from the '80s that he has maintained throughout the years, despite having enough money to buy a new, better car. Loaded with bumper stickers. It's loaded with bumper stickers that are all like, I want to believe, Bigfoot Protection Society sort of shit. And there is a custom Mothman, little figure. Those figurines that some cars have at the end of the front?
Hood ornament.
Oh,
Yeah, it has a custom Mothman hood ornament. It's the sides are painted professionally to advertise the Melody Wax Museum. It's a wonderfully gaudy thing.
Isaac's just like, I don't know how I missed that when I left, because that is definitely Oren's car.
It's so extra. It just... Your brain refuses to process it.
So flashy, it just burns a hole.
wait, when did Celia get here?
I've been here.
Yeah, she was at the Wax Museum.
Yeah, but I don't think she came out with Tycho because she was busy fucking with Egbert.
Yeah, but then she had to
I thought
sneak
she
out.
was.
She had to sneak out of the building so she didn't give herself away.
She snuck into the back of Isaac's car and they haven't noticed.
After she pickpocketed Celia's keys and drove Celia's car and followed you guys around town.
Wait, Celia's cars, or you mean Egbert?
Sorry, Kaiko's car.
Tycho doesn't have a car.
Oh, then I don't know how the fuck she followed you.
I'm pretty sure she has a car. Doesn't she?
Does Celia have a car?
Yeah, but she can't technically drive it.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you have Heelys and you just roller skated after them. Like Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey and Wonderful.
Well, then Healy.
Obviously, she just hid in the back of the car.
Okay, yeah, that works.
And then just popped
Isn't
out to
really
surprise
direct,
Kaiko.
Like my friend Kurt did when I was in high school.
Oh, by the way, I'm in the car too.
Tycho on instinct pulls out the pepper spray and spray.
Don't do that inside a car, it'll get all of you!
It's like it's not like the big bear spray, but like just a quick spray.
Yeah, dude, kids sprayed pepper spray in my elementary school as a prank when I was in 5th grade, and that's how I found out I have asthma.
Oh,
Oh.
Pepper spray ain't fucking
Ooh.
easy, man. It's not
All
mace,
right,
but it's
all
still
right,
pretty
instead of
nasty.
all right. Instead of that, a stun gun.
Oh no!
Do I take harm from that?
Yes. I would say it would deal 1 harm, but, you know, it's non-lethal harm. You'd just be stunned for a bit.
I deserve it.
Oh, whoa, whoa! No tasering people in my car.
No tasering in the car. I'll pull over.
It's like one of those like little hand ones that you press, and there's like the arc electricity that goes between.
Oof.
It's not like the thing that you point and shoot that fires barbs in your skin.
Yeah, it's just like a contact one.
Hand taser.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry, what the hell are you doing back there?
I was teasing Simon, and then the conversation got really awkward, and I had to pretend not to be in the building. It's fine. It's fine. I think most of it conducted into my legs.
Oh god!
Holy shit.
Her hair, it probably looks like an afro right now.
Kitty. Kitty. Hi, kitty.
That was my fault.
They were both in here begging for chicken, Kelly.
Yeah. Itty Bitty's mad at you because she's looking at me like she's mad.
She got more chicken than Abby did!
I don't have no chicken for you, kitty. What do you want?
Anyways, sorry about that, but he's here, so should at least check in. Or... Sorry, need to talk to him about other things.
No. Kaiko needs a hug.
Kaiko says that she's fidgeting with her face again.
Right, this means that Celia heard Isaac mention Kaiko's sister.
You want some moral support?
That means Celia and Isaac mentioned Kaiko's sister, or
Celia heard Isaac mention Kaiko's sister.
ah.
Wait. Kaiko has a sister. Then that means Kaiko isn't an only child, which means Kaiko had parents, which means those parents reproduced, which means Kaiko is the Zodiac Killer.
How dare you compare Kaiko to Ted Cruz?
You cracked the case.
Yeah, I mean,
How
I
dare
have
you,
to-
TT?
I have to
I
correct
make
you
this
one
character
thing.
that everyone loves, and you make a comparison to that fiend in Texas.
I also need to correct you one thing. She had parents.
Wow!
Ah, damn it! This blows it. Damn it! It blows a hole right in my case.
One thing I'm enjoying about this session is that I feel like we're all getting times to shine.
Yeah. I feel like I had some really good character stuff this episode.
Well,
Celia reaches into her-
let's keep going. I do have a time limit, guys.
Right.
Celia reaches into her purse,
Yeah.
pulls out a spray bottle, sprays her hair, then rapidly combs it back down.
Alright, we go to Miranda's apartment for the second time in 2 days.
All right. Go to Miranda's apartment. Knock on the door. Inside, Miranda Esper opens the door, and sure enough, Orin is there, on her couch, sifting through a lot of paperwork. Oh, what do you guys need? Orin looks up, and when he sees you guys, there's a flicker of anger on his face before it goes into a more neutral expression.
We're mostly here. We're mostly here to talk to him.
Okay. Orin puts some of the paperwork aside, sort of brushes off his jacket as he stands up off the couch and says, I'll handle this.
First and foremost,
Okay, you'll handle it.
can I have some ice?
What?
Oh, yeah, here, Isaac.
There was an
Alright.
electrical accident. And
Actually, I would have.
enormous amount of
Isaac would have
pain.
done this, but he would have, since he has a medkit in his car, he would have like helped with whatever taser burn there was.
All right.
He's got a burn ointment.
I'll make an ice pack. And as Miranda goes to the kitchen, her apartment, Orin sort of crosses his arms and says, "What did you guys do last night?"
Hal got
What didn't we
abducted.
do?
Hal got abducted.
I mean, Kaiko has just enough reason to be pissed at him that he does.
I told you guys to drop this one. I really did.
Like, after what happened to me, I don't think I can ever drop it. I can't.
Listen, I understand. I really do. It's why I'm imploring you guys to do this stuff, but I did not want to drag her back into this. Miranda told me that she told you a little bit about past together. I'm not ready to let that woman. And
Oh.
she's talking about how you are taking her to meet them, and I spent a lot of time making sure they didn't get her, and
It was her decision, not ours. What we offered was just a safety net for her.
what is this safety net? What are you going to do to keep her?
Thing we can, which is more than you've been doing. If you really wanted to help her, you'd help her bury this thing.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but letting people like that girl just constantly being abducted and a figure like that, just when we have an option to end it permanently, yeah, that's negligence.
You know, I don't have the best funding in the world. So, excuse me if I don't feel guilty about not being able to stop a UFO. I've helped keep Miranda safe to the best of my ability. I feel pretty good about how much I've done. I feel like my biggest slip-up was not stopping you guys from dragging her back into it.
At this point, it is her decision.
I just wanted to know. That's all.
Yeah. Alright.
Kaiko deserves to know.
And it wasn't Kaiko who said to go after Miranda. That was old Zoe.
It was.
And it wasn't me who wanted to go there. It was them.
Yeah, alright. Well, it is what it is now, so...
Just for context, I really do not like the trope of one character getting blamed for the actions of others.
Yeah.
Because how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Just an FYI.
So what is this safety net that you're providing, other than insulting my work, which you haven't even asked about? You didn't actually explain what you're doing to protect my friend.
Okay. Do we just come clean with everything? Between...
You can if you want to. You're the ones who get to make that choice.
That's what I'm asking Casey and Isaac. Or
Celia just nods at her.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, Kaiko comes clean. As well as...
Okay, can you actually explain what your plan is? Because so far all I've got is cats and walking Miranda up to the aliens.
Well, Kaiko has an idea is that if she could find out whatever took her, that might, if the Kaleidoscope Man knew those things were in the area, it might scare them off. Because Mothman's scared of the thing that, whatever the thing did to Kaiko, whatever those things are. Kaleidoscope Man scared of Mothman. Therefore, Kaleidoscope Man would the abductors of Kaiko would have terrified the Kaleidoscope Men if they knew they were also highly active in the area.
Calling bigger fish.
And using herself as potential either bait or, oh fuck, they're in the area. And the fact that Kaiko apparently was in Abduction Hot Potato as a kid.
So Oren takes that and into her advisement and nods along as she explained.
And you all did tell him that Hal basically spoke to them last night, right?
Yes. And the fact that...
Kaiko, you've always been a very private person, and I have tried not to pry. But for this plan to work, you need a bit more proof than just your scar.
Then what? I don't... Because Kaiko doesn't have a name, a face, or what thing other than the case. And also, you know, the fact that Kaiko's got the off. Blue.
Oren takes out a piece of paper from a stack because they're sorting out a lot of Miranda's business. He writes down an address, gives it to you, and says, "Meet me at my house here in 2 hours. I'm going to finish up some business with Miranda here. Bring your whole little gang. I'm going to show you something."
Kaiko nods. I didn't bring anyone, but because Kaiko, like, even someone getting abducted, like some of the worst case scenarios, she just wants it to end because she doesn't want other people to end up like her.
Mm-hmm.
Kaiko.
Because after the whole incident, Kaiko's life turned to hell. She used to be a liked kid in school, didn't she? What?
All right. Miranda comes back with an ice pack for Celia. Do you guys have any more business at this apartment?
No, other than Kaiko's apologizing because feels like everything happening is her fault.
Miranda takes your hand and puts her hand over it and says, "This isn't your fault. You're doing what comes naturally. Something bad happened to you, and you wanted to figure out why. And trust me, I understand that impulse better than most. You can't blame yourself for what happened to you, okay? This isn't your fault. It's something beyond all of us, and that's in a way scarier because if it was your fault, it would be under your control, and it isn't. Sometimes we just get the hands we're dealt."
Kaiko's still all in. Like, oh no, one of the people I look up to blames me for this, and no, it's just so pitch anxiety right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Celia and Isaac, you got any words that you want to say before you guys leave the apartment?
Nah, he's willing to wait and see what Oren might have planned.
Celia's already getting out her phone and calling the gang to tell them we're gonna...
All right, 2 hours later. You guys drive out to one of a few old houses in the middle of the woods. One of those is Kaiko's, one of those is Hal's, and one of those is Oren's. This house is creepier than most. That's because in October, Oren turns it into an actual haunted house attraction. And a pretty damn good one, if one does say so himself. In the summer months, you know, it's not quite all done up, but it's still made to look spookier than a normal old creepy house in the woods. Oren's car is already in the driveway. You guys walk up to the door and ring the doorbell, which has a large animatronic eye over it. And when you ring it, there's a stock scream sound effect.
Oh, Jesus.
I imagine Kaiko's worked here like at least 2 Halloween before.
Yep.
Kaiko was the good. Yeah, Kaiko was the grudge girl. Plays the grudge girl every Halloween.
Aw.
Aww.
Between her burns and the whole look, she pulls it off really well.
Oren opens the door and says, "I bid you welcome."
Kaiko tentatively enters, like...
Alright, follow me.
Kaiko
And
goes.
he leads you guys into the basement, and then down the stairs to the secondary basement, and then down the stairs to the third basement. The first 2 basements are used for, amongst things, the haunted house attraction. The third basement is where Oren keeps a lot of personal possessions, and he eventually leads you to a door that is behind a giant vault door. He goes through a very intricate process of unlocking it, because it turns out there are a lot of locks. And when he opens it up, you guys see Oren Megoria's private collection.
Oh.
You're not the only one who likes bunkers, Kaiko.
Like,
he has a
does
map of all the
everyone in
bunkers
this town
and
have
it's
a personal bunker?
Oh no, his bunker map is bigger than hers.
Inside, there are casts of South Plus casts of Southpaw Sam's foot. There's an only slightly blurry photo of the Alto Pogo. There are all sorts of strange artifacts. There is a taxidermied body of a thing somewhat similar to the Gourmand, a ball of flesh and eyes and mouths. There are all sorts of strange sights, but the thing that really draws your eye is a set of shelves containing strange devices. And Orin sort of, digs through one shelf, sort of brushing some things aside until he pulls out a device that looks almost like a sci-fi laser weapon.
Oh.
Sometime later, we should talk more in depth, if you would like to, Kaiko, about the variety of alien that caused your particular scarring. But if you want to use that alien's clout to threaten the Kaleidoscope Men into compliance, we're going to have to make the effects of that scarring a bit more apparent.
Ooh.
Are you okay with that?
Like a more apparent. Oh.
You talked a little bit about going into the Bewitched version of our town.
Kaiko nods.
Did you ever happen to look into a mirror while you were there?
Yeah. My entire face was covered in blue fire.
Yeah, so that fire is visible in planes and normally not in ours, but he turns on a device. It can be made visible.
Oh.
If only for a short while.
Well, I'll do it. Whatever. I don't
Will
want
it hurt
anyone else
her?
to be taken.
Will it hurt her?
Physically? No, I don't think so. Do you feel like you're burning all the time, Kaiko?
No.
No, so
I
physically, no, it won't hurt her. Psychologically, well, Kaiko, you're a lot like Miranda, so I think remembering exactly what's going on with past experiences is a bit traumatic, yes?
Well, on the few times of the few images I can barely remember.
So, this is up to you.
Kaiko, whatever it takes to make sure nobody else gets taken, I'll do.
That's very brave of you, kid. And he points the device at you. He takes a few settings, and he presses a button. And you all see slowly flames, multicolored, non-orange flames, emerge from the scarred portions of Kaiko's body. And as the device does its work, more and more of them billow out until you realize that the flames stretch a good 2 feet off of
Oh.
in all directions. You look like you're half Human Torch.
Fuck.
Are you okay?
Do I feel okay?
Yeah, physically there's no sensation.
I don't feel anything. Guilty! She looks at me.
How you feeling, Kaiko?
Did you feel an extreme emotion?
Did I?
I'm asking you.
I'm gonna say no because I think I'm gonna leave that one to DM call because you have control of what Kaiko remembers.
You are you have seen your body part in a flame before, and it did kind of freak you out last time.
Yeah, but that was the first time she's. Now it's just the second time seeing it.
Okay, so you felt you're a bit more accustomed to it now.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
what the fuck?
All right. So you see the do you do anything when you see your body aflame? Do you move at all?
Kaiko moves, like, looking at her arm.
Okay, as you examine your arm, the flames dance and swirl around it in a very interesting way. Not like, say, if you had like a stick that's on fire and you turn it around, the fire would move a little bit. Here it's moving a lot, almost as if it's moving in reaction to the movement of your own arm. Like specifically, it's sort of like not just moving as a result of it being moved, but moving in response to the movements your arm is making. It swirls around as if, being blown by the wind.
Ooh.
You think you could fire a Kamehameha like that?
Don't try that in my bunker, please.
You were all thinking it.
To go to
Yeah,
the house backyard.
How is the color of the flames turning?
It mostly is in shades of green, blue, and, shades of blue and green in between.
Does it change with
bits
her
of turquoise.
Does it change with her emotion at all?
I don't know. She hasn't experienced extreme emotions.
Alright, so Kaiko is feeling like confusion and somewhat awe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now you're just sort of staring at it with like with rapt attention, and it performs for you.
She jumps in shock, and I imagine with the shock it also changes color.
Yeah, when you have shock, it doesn't change color, but it does change in intensity and brightness.
Oh.
And it does flare out a bit.
Hell.
During this demonstration, Isaac's been using his little tricorder spindle tech thing to just see if there's actually any readings now.
Between Mothman and Kaleidoscope Men Flying Saucer, this is a more extreme reaction than Mothman's background radiation, but not quite to the level of the Flying Saucer.
Yeah, he's gonna be like,
you were getting some weird alien signals from this shit.
he's trying to like measure intensity as she's trying out the emotional reactions.
When she has strong emotions, the intensity of it spikes severely. Again, not quite to the level of the spaceship. It seems like the spaceship must take a lot of energy to travel.
A reactor of some kind.
But it's still the kind of shit that could do some serious mutation.
Oh.
Could have some serious side effects.
I was just gonna advise, like, okay, the light show is really awesome, but I think if this is gonna be like a long-term thing, we're gonna need some of those lead-lined suits.
This should last until probably 4 a.m. tonight.
Safe for her?
She's been living with this, so
Like I said, this isn't making the fire, it's making the fire visible. This is going on with Kaiko all the time.
Oh.
Maybe
Yeah.
not fully in our plane, because it is mostly restricted to the Bewitched world, but
now it turns to like her emotion is like some fear, trepidation, and like a lot of fear because what could have done this? Like it's like something like this power of like light is narrowing some options down in her head, and she's not liking where those options are ending up.
when you experience that sort of deep fear, the flames darken, and again they intensify.
Oh.
And now they're swirling in tendrily wisps, and particularly concentrating around your hand.
Everyone take a few steps back, and Kaiko, I want you to remember how you felt when Hal was taken and the cord snapped.
Again, not in my bunker! Not in my bunker!
Stares at Isaac like, what the fuck, dude?
We can save that for when we need to scare the aliens. Calm down.
Okay.
Al's right here. We're okay.
Isaac just found the nuclear launch codes, I guess.
But I'm imagining when fucking Endeavor explodes in My Hero Academia.
Oh god.
I'm imagining a bit of that, especially after last episode.
This
Can we feel any of it?
Zoe's gonna like put her hand close until
Do you feel it?
yeah. TT.
Sorry, what?
Zoe's putting her hand close.
Does it feel hot?
Okay. Zoe, you put your hand close to the fire, and the fire dances around your hand as if it's trying to crawl and grab onto you, but it can't find purchase. Like it's trying to pull you in, but it just can't touch you yet.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool. Celia touches
Fire is
Kaiko's
hungry.
shoulder.
Silly what?
Celia touches Kaiko's shoulder. Hey, check it out. Your soul wants to eat my hand.
How are you feeling, Taiko?
Hold on.
Physically, you're fine. Physically, Kaiko, you're fine.
Hold on, I'm doing a thing. Omae wa stando disco inferno. Omae wa wake the power of my stand, disco inferno.
Oh fucking god, man. I heard that growing.
This was unplanned by me, by the way, but I'm rolling with it.
So this responds to your emotions?
Kaiko, after
Yes.
calming down. Oh. Oh.
And when you calm down, it returns to normal. Well, normal.
Thank you. I think this will. If it's the thing that has that date, this
Sorry, what? You cut off for me.
Kaiko is like the thing that thing is from the distant thing. What are
I cannot hear you, Kay. You are super muffled.
Kaiko is asking, and the thing that did this to her is I think the laser that he has from them or something else.
I don't know if it's specifically from the things that did it, but I would say it's a pretty good guess that it would be. It's from something that knows how to figure out what was done to you. I'll tell you that much.
Mm.
Kaiko is tentative, like still trying to figure out what thing could have done this.
We can
Kaiko-
talk about that later. I feel like that's a bit of a long conversation.
Kaiko, do you mind if I try something real quick?
What are you planning on doing?
I want to see how it reacts to my blade.
Don't.
Aww.
Not in the bunker.
Yeah.
What would the blade look like if we used the what it looked like? It looks like in the
Yeah, fucking Celia walked in with a katana on her back.
That's an interesting question. Do you examine your blade right?
Yes.
You know how it looks in the Bewitched melody?
Yeah.
It's looking like that.
Ooh.
Does the general look any different?
No, he's a cat.
Genoa doesn't need the bewitching hour to use his powers.
Yeah.
I can't remember their name, but the cat that's not the Baron. It's the one that the cat that comes
Thomasina.
back. That's the one you need to examine.
Oh, okay.
Thomas.
The zombie cat, yeah.
Yeah, does he look any different? The zombie cat?
She, yeah.
She,
Thomasina.
does she look any different?
For a second, you can't see Thomasino. She's not where she was. And then you notice that she's in a different spot in the room. But then when you blink, she's not there anymore.
She's a Schrodinger.
She might be doing some mild Schrodinging.
Meanwhile, in another universe. Oh, hey, Schrodingus. Oh, hey, Thomasina. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, hey, Thomasina.
See, that was a fun two-parter. Anyway.
So I guess we have a way to spook them. Do you think it'll spook them?
It scared. Mothman scared of that. Well, the Mothman scared them, and Mothman scared of what did this. Oh. Here's the hoping.
We've got a good always bigger fish shot at this, I guess.
I still do have that stupid suit. Just gonna have to keep talking to him.
Miranda won't be talking by herself.
I mean, I can communicate now too.
Mm-hmm.
Orin?
Yes.
It was my idea to go talk to Miranda. Al was taken, and she was the only one I knew anything.
I'm not really mad at you guys. This is a little bit of misplaced aggression, I guess. Because I know that I would have done the exact same thing if our roles were reversed. Because I did the exact same thing when our roles were reversed. And ethically, I think you were within your rights. But she's a very important friend in my life, and...
Okay,
TT, you slurred your L there, so it sounded like a friend of my wife.
She's a very important friend in my life.
There we go.
So...
How close are you two?
Facebook relationship status it's complicated. Also none of your business.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's more than enough.
That's above our pay grade.
Tycho doesn't want to know about other people's relationships. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird, Zoe.
If you want to explore theories on the topic, you can talk to Simon. He loves to talk about the thing.
Yeah,
All
who
the
would
damn time.
want people's relationships?
Gossipy hen.
When he goes on, I'm pretty sure Duchess Isidore wants to eat him. And I think the new ones do too.
To be fair, he does look rather tender and salty.
Really? I
Isaac,
think
who's
he would be
been
kind of springy and bony.
Zoe's looking between or very.
Isaac turns away from where he's been just like staring at the shelf of the weird devices and be like, turns around like, what the fuck did I just tune back into?
Look, I just like my meat to put up a little more fight when I bite into it.
That explains the gushers. Okay.
Oh, you guys found the screaming gushers, huh?
You saw those too? Did you see the door that spat out blood?
In the Forge Masters building, yeah.
You know the Forge Master too.
There's probably some old stories I should share with you guys sometime.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, there are.
Yeah,
To be
definitely.
fair, considering what you hired us for,
Yeah, back.
you probably should have told us some of this sooner.
Well, I figured you guys might like the thrill of discovery, and also wasn't sure you were gonna go as deep as I did.
Or if we
Didn't
would
want to sort
survive
of
this long.
lead you into going as deep as I did, and obviously it's a little late for that. So
I'm sure you weren't exactly expecting us to survive this long.
I wasn't expecting you to keep doing this long.
Yeah, I don't think he expected us to die, right?
If you noticed, I actually purposely tried to keep you from doing things that would imperil your life.
Did you know about the other Bigfoot?
No. As far as I was aware, the only Bigfoot in the area was Southpaw Sam.
Yeah, the one who tried to kill Southpaw Sam, the general beat him up.
I mean, occasionally other Bigfoots have visited, but eventually they find out Southpaw Sam has this territory and they leave.
He
It
wasn't.
was a usurper.
This one punched me.
Celia drug her knife through its spine.
Nice.
Hit it with an axe.
Yeah, how hit it with an axe?
Meanwhile, Kaiko's processing, trying to figure out what extent of manipulation of the flames does she have motion.
So what are you trying to do to manipulate your flames?
I don't know. Kaiko's just going through many emotions, like waving her hand.
Okay, not in my bunker. Out! Out!
Yes,
Hey, Kaiko.
No.
Kaiko.
No.
We're fire twins now.
If this was written by a more racist author, I'd be.
She what? You cut out.
I said Kaiko just said, if this was written by someone who's racist, I would be the one with the katana.
Oh,
I would be.
shit.
And thankfully it's not.
Okay, do we leave the bunker and whatever? And Hal notices Keiko trying to control her emotions to show what she's feeling at the second. He's gonna roll to help out.
Aww.
Aww.
He's gonna try to explain how he does it. Okay, good. What does this get me?
So what do I have to roll for this?
You don't have to roll anything for controlling your flame. You just have to tell me what you're trying.
Seeing what happened. Like, Kaiko's seeing if she even can.
Okay, but how? What are you doing? What is the stimulus?
Like directing, moving her hand, directing it at some sort of object.
Airbending.
So you are pointing your hand at something and trying to get the flame to go there. Yes. Yes.
She's also trying to manipulate her emotions to see if it reflects it in the flame.
Well, which are you doing first? Which are you doing first? Give me individual stimuli.
Emotions first.
Okay. What emotion are you trying to feel first?
Trepidation.
All right. Trepidation does jack shit.
How about anger?
Anger, the flame flares up real big. It looks angry.
Well,
Meanwhile, there's another cryptid YouTuber. It's like, oh shit! I found a fire demon.
Oh, I have an idea. Kaiko. Celia gets out her purse, pulls out a marker, looks at goes to a nearby rock, and hastily scribbles Logan Paul's face on it.
Very, very specific anger towards that face.
Cliff Howard, you son of a bitch.
Like Kaiko's fist clenches as she just glares at with disgust.
As your fist clenches, the flames swirl around it, and eventually the swirling flames begin to reach out like talons.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Kaiko jumps, but then tries to manipulate it.
Upon fear, the flames sort of pop and go back to a normal. The surprise sort of jolts them back to standard mode.
The Kaiko looks back to fucking Logan Paul's face, or Cliff Howard's face.
Mm-hmm.
The angry disgust continues.
Okay. So what are you doing with your arm?
Kaiko's unsure, but she points the arm at the face.
The flames stretch outward as those talons until they reach the picture.
Uh-huh.
And they wrap around it as if to grab.
But nothing's happening to the object.
Nothing's happening to the object at first. And they start to grow bigger and brighter, and then they start to shrink in size as they grow brighter still, until finally they begin to touch the paper and move it, and then incinerate it.
Fuck! That fucking
Been taking recording.
When the object of hatred is destroyed, they immediately cool and recede.
Oh. Fucking fire starter, holy shit.
Skin things of this.
How are you feeling after that, Kaiko?
Very cathartic. Also very terrifying.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm glad I didn't know this could happen when I was way younger.
Gary?
That sounds like several Stephen King novels.
Some people may have had their houses.
Pat goes to pat Kaiko's shoulder. Hesitantly, but she does it.
All of Kaiko's rush through her head.
Hal doesn't have any hesitation. He actually hugs her and picks her up.
Aww.
Aww.
The flames recede.
Aww.
Yep, this is happening. Emotion.
This might as well happen. Fucking.
Okay, when Hal hugs you, at first the flames recede, but then in a very dark, low color, low heat color, they dance out from your arm and around Hal, and they can't touch him, but they wrap all around him as if they want to pull close.
Aww.
Aww.
I don't know if that's terrifying or adorable.
That's adorable!
Adorifying?
Sure. It's whatever you want it to be.
Terrifying.
That's
You get to
adorable.
interpret that event however you want.
Well, Kaiko, these flames come from you as far as I can tell. And none of that can ever be a bad thing.
Aww.
Jesus.
Aww.
Oh.
Ooh, that's like a feel to the gut right there, like a gut feel.
Aw.
Aw. All right. We
All
done
of us are getting
testing our
great role-playing
firebending.
Yep.
You're friendly, goddammit.
All right. So shall we skip forward?
Yes.
Any last preparations?
I was just gonna wonder, did Isaac see anything familiar or useful on Warren Megoria's collection?
Familiar, yes. Useful. You haven't had a lot of experience with the alien side of things, so you didn't recognize most of the technology. And what little experience you do have with aliens is that generally not a good idea to just poke around their shit to figure out what it does.
Broken.
He probably recognizes them from like the training manual, like "Do not touch."
Broken. Hair dryer. Broken.
You did recognize quite a few of like the cryptid memorabilia in there, and some things that are like like jury-rigged equivalents of the technology that your company uses for dealing with spectral phenomena. Oren Megoria may not be a spindle field agent, but he's got a collection that a lot of spindle field agents would find kind of impressive. The equivalent of finding a private detective who's done a pretty damn good job of being a private detective.
Right. Oh, and before Isaac forgets again, he would hand over Mallory's application going, I know this is a weird time to hand this over, but a friend of mine is looking for a job, and I think she'd be perfect for the wax museum.
Well, wouldn't be the first time I hire ex-Spindle personnel.
Does he? Oh shit!
He's kind of.
Oh.
Did you just say that where everyone else could hear it?
No, he said that quietly to Isaac as Isaac handed over.
Isaac just kind of like frowns for a second, but then he chuckles and goes, "Yeah, I'm kind of the reason why she's no longer employed, so I feel kind of guilty."
Well, if this sort of thing is going to keep happening, we could use her help. Thank you.
Her skill set's useful.
It's like, guessing xenopathologist?
Yeah. Also, she's definitely someone who's going to keep Simon on his toes.
Good, he needs that.
I'm going to make his life hell.
That statement alone got her hired.
Oh wait, Isaac just has this realization that he's like, oh crap. Between Celia and her, Simon's going to be destroyed.
All right. Gonna jot that down as a note.
Fucking enjoying this.
Okay.
Fuck.
What's the next step?
There's a park, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't. How are we gonna hide this from everyone looking?
It might not be any more subtle, but it'll be less. Actually, I don't know if it would be less flashy, but so it can keep things out. Maybe it can keep things contained. But then you would just be the person walking around in a hazmat suit.
We did it for an entire afternoon.
They're gonna meet us in the park at like 12 a.m. We'll be fine.
Okay.
You should all, I don't know, hang out, do young people things.
Well, I'm like this.
Hey, did you just hello, fellow kids, us?
You realize I've got like a good 40 years on most of you, right?
Yeah, but you're more aware than like most adults.
Yeah, but I'm also aware enough as an adult that, you know, I don't fully know whatever the youth do. Do your youth things.
Okay, Miranda, what was your favorite episode of the show?
She's not here with you.
Oh.
She's tending to her own business.
Well, Keiko, you want to go finish like that session in D&D that got like interrupted the other day? Should only take a couple hours and take kind of the edge off.
That's a good idea, although, given what happens, I don't want to accidentally burn down.
We can like do it outside.
D&D shouldn't make you that angry. Wait, do you have a that fucking player?
No, we kicked him out like weeks ago.
We had that fucking player.
And his name was...
Wiggins!
Johnny Chess.
No!
Jeez.
That
Oh,
would
that's kind of
imply
you guys.
that Johnny Test lives in fucking Melody, and I refuse.
I thought you D&D'd of him over the like internet.
Wiggins, man.
No, we have enough friends to do it in person now. We're not losers who only know how to internet friends who they voice chat with every day.
Hey, if there's a plague, you'll be happy that you know how to voice chat with them.
Yeah, big circumstances there.
Yeah, what's that gonna happen?
It's not gonna happen in Melody's universe.
Never happened. Holy shit.
We are set 2024.
Not to sidetrack us too much because we've got like maybe 45 minutes at most. We can keep this session going.
Right.
But I do want to say I'm glad that I did the Gormon session before all this broke out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd be comfortable doing that monster now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just wait and see.
All right. Hours later, you guys arrive at the park. Oren and Miranda are sitting on a blanket, waiting for you.
No.
Uh-huh.
Have a picnic and everything.
Aww.
Aw.
So how is Kaiko's fire interacting with low light? Is she a light source?
It's remained dark and cool while you've been calm, so it actually isn't giving off that much light. If you make it flare up, though, you could make a scene.
Is there anybody around?
No, you're in a fairly secluded area of the park. You know, roughly where
Because
the
Kaiko's trepidations and like anxiety is getting higher as she gets closer. So
you know, despite anyone's good judgment, there are a lot of areas of the Baritone Park that are pretty easy to sort of hide yourself from view. Real design flaw of the landscaping there. And that's where you guys are.
So as I imagine, as Kaiko gets let loose, she gets brighter.
So anyway,
Like
Zoe.
anxiety, fear, trepidation.
Yeah.
So anyway, Zoe,
in the
that-
bathroom.
Aww. The moment will be gone when she gets back.
We bring the squid suit.
Yep.
Yep.
Who's wearing it?
I guess me again.
You're
Kaiko's
their ambassador.
terrible.
And apparently Kaiko is the muscle question mark?
Kaiko is the other diplomat. The one is there that is there to make them pee themselves.
Oh, so
Good
I'm bad
diplomat,
cop.
bad diplomat.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm bad cop.
So anyway, Zoe, that's why Lilo is the best Disney princess.
What? I zoned out. What happened?
Oh, hey guys.
I'm sorry, I totally zoned out. What did I miss?
We're all at the park. Miranda has a picnic for us. Kaiko's not as on fire as she was.
No, I don't have a picnic for all of you. Most of this food's gone.
Also, Miranda hasn't seen Kaiko on fire yet, so yeah, she sees that.
She does not look particularly surprised, and in a way that's more worrying.
Oh,
Oh no. But she'd also see the fire sword, like actual fire.
Well, it's
Also
in the
doesn't
sheath right now.
surprised to see that.
Well, it's in the scabbard right now.
He's
How about the several
It's still a
cats?
fucking It's still a fucking katana.
How about
Wait,
the several cats?
I mean, you guys talked about
I mean,
the cat
she's-
thing.
Yeah, fair.
Kinescope man and meant to communicate with them. She could probably see the fire normally.
Oh yeah, she might have been able to see it before.
As you guys approach, Miranda sort of almost whispers to Oren, "So, have you talked to them about the Catman cryptid? Because they might have some clues."
So he hears that. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no Catman cryptid.
Oh, you're not aware of that one? We should
No, it
talk about
doesn't
it.
exist.
Talk about
It
it later.
doesn't exist.
It's one of the newer cryptids in the area, and it's got some fascinating mythology.
Oh. It does not exist, Oren.
I've been trying to get to the bottom of it for years, but
Oh.
I don't think I've ever gotten close.
Zoe's dying. Her face was like entirely red.
I think it's.
I've heard
And to
about
be
it
honest,
around
I
the
think it's
water
probably-
cooler recently, but
Oh god! Oh god!
I think it's one of the most shy, one of the most terrifying cryptid facility.
Oh god!
You guys see lights in the sky. all over the sky, not just around you. As the Melody Light Show begins in earnest.
So, Orin,
Yeah?
I know there's one that us. Are the rest all different aliens?
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, like I said, this is kind of a big... This is the big pond in Melody.
Okay, I see kaleidoscope. I see reptiloids. I see the Baltons. I see a Klingon bird of prey.
Baltans. You gotta hit the "and" part, because if you just say Baltons, it sounds like they're from the Baltons, which is like the Baltons. It's an area in Europe.
Or I thought you were meaning the really shitty Game of Thrones guy.
Those are the Boltons.
Are you sure?
No, the Baltons.
Baltans.
Baltans.
Yeah, Baltans.
Meanwhile, the moment he said that they're all different aliens, Aiko's are.
Hello?
Because Kaiko is having a bit of a blue screen moment right now, and he says they're all different.
Yeah.
No, Zoe. Baltans. Not.
So how is Kaiko's fire reacting to that?
That different shades of blue and green and colors in between dance up and down the fire, almost as if in giddy excitement.
Oh.
Oh.
Because that's a bit of fear, because that means potentially the thing that did that.
Yes.
Okay, you're
potentially
a lot.
Potentially the thing that caused your condition is out there, and now the fire is feeling giddy anticipation.
Ooh.
Wait a second, I recognize that ship. That's the one that stole my bike.
Right! Also canon, she has a beef with every single monster.
God damn it.
Come on, you can't know it was them that stole your bike.
Yes, I can. I remember that shape.
Why would they steal your bike?
It was a good
In their
bike.
home world, it's a hot black market item.
Slow turns toward guys.
Isaac shrugs.
Awesome.
Kaiko could tell he was
read
lying
a
when
bad
he said that.
situation.
Oh
Who?
god.
Who?
Everyone do a read a bad situation.
Okay, so
Everyone. Yay.
Boy.
7. 8. Oh, I'll take
8.
it. Yeah.
Sharp.
and that's sharp.
9.
Yep,
Oh,
I think that's
boy.
sharp. Yep.
Wait. 8.
Oh, Kaiko has a +3 to that.
Oh, cool, I got another experience point. Yeah. Oh, wait. I know what else I can do.
But
Who's got
yeah,
the
13.
highest?
Kaiko got a 13.
Can the general do it as well?
Sure. Did anyone get higher than a 13?
Oh, the 6. Nope.
Anyone
General
equal
not
13?
No.
Okay, did.
Who did?
Huh?
Kay's the only one that got anywhere close to that.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Kaiko. While you all are watching the light show, you sense a light source behind you rather than above you.
Kaiko turns.
You turn around, and emerging out of the forest is one of a few kaleidoscope men who are making their way towards you.
Kaiko, they're here.
When they notice you, they stop in their tracks.
Oh,
And-
fuck.
A very different collection of colors appears on their smooth bubble heads.
Would Hal recognize it?
I don't know, is Hal looking?
Once Kaiko turned, Hal would turn as well.
Yeah, the kaleidoscope men are registering fear
Ooh.
Yeah, they looked at the Mothman like that.
Oh,
And Kaiko, without any input from you, the fire is swirling, and it's particularly swirling around your shoulder and growing. And flame, the patterns of the flames are dancing until they form something that, if you squint, could almost look like a face.
Holy shit.
A face halfway between smiling and baring its teeth.
oh. So Kaiko is right.
We should probably get the talking part before we
I'll
scare
get,
them.
I'll get to it.
Okay.
The kaleidoscope men's heads
Well, damn.
blare out, wrong one, wrong one.
Oh.
Hal, at least Hal, that's what you get.
Okay, so Hal is going to also blare out, not this one, not this one.
Not what we want, not what we want. And they begin retreating into the woods.
Hal blares out,
Miranda!
wait as hard as he can. Not this one. Different one. Here.
You blare out and they do stop, but they watch as the flames on Kaiko's body are continuing to grow.
Kaiko tries to control it.
It doesn't listen.
I have no control of this.
We should walk away.
Kaiko's.
Kaiko, you feel an impulse to move your arm. Like you feel inside you a desire to move it.
Kaiko grabs her unburned arm to hold her arm.
You do, and you manage to successfully do so, but the flames do keep sort of spreading out.
Kaiko, you should step back on the.
I'm
Right in the
trying.
middle.
My body isn't wanting to move.
Zoe's going to carefully reach for the arm. That's correct.
And the closest of the kaleidoscope men looks to you, Hal, and says, "What do you want?" Or flashes, "What do you want?"
Okay.
What is my flames responding back?
So,
Your flames actually do mimic the pattern, if not the colors. And Hal, roll that empathy check for me.
alrighty. Okay, that is another 11.
Cool, Hal. You kind of sense that the flames are not only repeating the phrase that they said, the "what do you want" thing, but they're doing it with the color flashing equivalent of sarcasm.
Oof.
Oh, fuck.
Did you really?
As if mocking the kaleidoscope men.
I have no control of this.
Zoe.
Hal flashes the equivalent of "ignore the flames, they're being a little bitch."
Shit.
And then he goes, "We want you to see if this one is the correct one, and then listen to her wishes before you simply take."
Hal, as you said that, when you said "we want you to," the flames flashed the equivalent of the word "die."
Oh.
Oh.
But the kaleidoscope men are listening to you.
Kaiko is. Imagine Celia and Zoe are pushing Kaiko back because she can't move on her own right now.
Yeah, they're carefully, but they're pushing her further back.
I mean, Kaiko, you can move half your body.
Yeah, Kaiko can move one leg, but anywhere the burns are, she cannot.
A weird version of Weekend at Bernie's.
Zoe has her hand pressed against a burn part. Is she feeling anything?
You're not feeling touched by it, but they do the flames do try to wrap around you. They can't make contact.
Celia's just wrapping her arms around Kaiko's waist and trying to hoist her up.
And again, the same thing happens to you. The flames try to wrap around you, but they're not in touch.
We got you, Kaiko.
Okay, so Hal waits until, they kind of wrangle.
The kaleidoscope men, all of their faces are registering fear, and the leader of them its head slowly snaps back to normal coloration and patterns, and then flashes, "Sorry, scared, what did you say?"
Oh, okay.
Kaiko,
God.
your flames have spunk.
So Hal repeats what he said, basically that he wants them to meet the one that they're looking for and then listen to her wishes before they simply take her away.
We agree.
What? Something like that.
Okay, so he keeps up a feeling of thank you, and then wait, and then he calls over his shoulder to Miranda, and he says, "Well, they said that they're gonna listen to your wishes before they do anything, so we might want to see if you can actually talk to them."
And if they don't, I think whatever my body's doing can be let loose.
They're about to wee themselves.
Kaiko, I would consider it a personal favor if you don't explode and self-destruct.
I can't guarantee that right now.
Miranda stands up.
I can't.
Orin stands up with her and pats her shoulder reassuringly before she walks off. She goes up to the kaleidoscope men. They emerge from the forest cautiously. They're, some of them still
Looking at
attentive at the flames. The leader goes up to Miranda and reaches out with one of its strange Dr. Octopus arms. And as tenderly as a metallic, articulated robotic tendril can when it's tipped with tiny needle-like metal fingers, brushes aside some of her hair and strokes her cheek as it flashes colors on its orb head. Miranda's eyes open wide and begin to change color.
Oh.
And begin pulsating with the same strange kaleidoscope pattern as the aliens' heads do. And the two have a conversation, which only Hal can hear or understand if Hal looks closely. Because Miranda's, I guess, doing the equivalent of whispering since her eyes are a relatively tiny surface to project the images.
Do I have to roll something to pay close attention?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to roll the empathy check.
Okay. Well, that one's even better, a 12.
Okay, yeah.
He's got a really good weird stat, right?
The kaleidoscope men, what they're saying is very clear. They talk about how they've searched for a long time. They've been so worried. They want to know if she's a success. They can tell by her eyes that she worked out. They want to bring her home. Miranda argues that she is home. This is where she belongs. The kaleidoscope man leader argues that they know more about her than the humans do. They know everything about her. They can help her understand herself. She argues that she understands herself just fine, that she belongs here. The kaleidoscope man claims they miss her. She says, a little bit coldly, "I don't miss you. I belong here. You left me here. This is my home. These are my people." And there's something very akin to grief felt by all the kaleidoscope men at those words.
Oh.
And the lead kaleidoscope man reaches out for her one more time, brushes her cheek and says, "They will always be here if she needs them." Then it pulls back its arm, looks to you, Hal, and gives you a curt nod. And the kaleidoscope men leave.
Aww.
Ask them if they know what this is.
Hal does, as quickly as he can, relay
Most of the
that.
kaleidoscope men are busy, they're kind of booking it. But the leader does pause enough, turns its sphere head back to you, Hal, and it flashes a single word: death.
Ho, ho, ho.
And then it goes.
Question. Can the flames?
As they leave, the flames die down.
When the kaleidoscope men are out of sight, the flames slowly recede back to their normal position, to their normal extent.
Can the flame reason and talk?
What was that?
Well, Hal, you know the answer to that question because the flames did say a couple of words you recognized.
Oh, your flames are a little bitch.
I kind of like him.
Excuse me?
Zoe's narrowing her eyes at them.
The only thing that the kaleidoscope men had to say about your flames and where they came from was a single word, Kaiko. Do you want me to tell you what it was?
Uh,
And he's taken off his disco hood and he's looking at her very seriously.
hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm
I
waiting.
said I need to know.
I didn't hear you.
I did a soft Kaiko, I need to know, but fuck you, Mike.
Yeah.
You can pick up the music I'm listening to just fine. But I wish you can't pick up shit.
Hal,
I'll just be like that sometime.
Hal tries to soften the blow as much as he can by looking at her, softly. And he goes, all they said was death.
That's fine.
And when I was trying to communicate with them, it very clearly showed its opinions of them by saying that we wanted them to die.
Kaiko, as Hal relates this information to you, you realize that the face, which again isn't really a face, it's just something that if you squint kind of looks like a face, has reappeared on the flames, and it looks almost like it's smiling with a shit-eating grin
Can the
at
flames?
what Hal is relating.
Flames talk and reason.
I'm not sure if it's trying to protect you or not, but it was being a trolling little bitch.
Can it, TT?
Mm?
I mean, if it can, I can talk to it.
The flames can communicate at the very least in a similar manner to the club.
Okay.
And if it can communicate, if it can say the word death, then there must be some level of intelligence there. Like, it shows its words too well to be an accident.
Hey. Shoulder thing. Shh. What do you want?
Are you talking to my scars?
I think?
That's kind of fucked up.
Wait, it has a face, Kaiko!
She says as she has a fucking mask sitting above her shoulder, grinning
Yeah.
at people.
I dropped my die, I'm sorry.
Damn it, Hiyaki! You're supposed to... We left you behind the last two melodies. God damn it!
Hold on. I rolled for this.
Okay.
Where'd you go? I got a 5 on one, but I dropped the other one somewhere. Oh god, it went all the way into there.
What are you rolling?
Manipulate someone.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah, I got 11. 13. I have Dark Negotiator, which lets me use my Manipulate Someone on a monster as long as it can talk and reason.
Alright. And what did you roll for manipulate someone?
13.
13.
Got another
Okay.
experience point. Holy hell.
So,
I imagine Hal's the one who can understand it unless it just starts talking. still.
Okay, so the way manipulate someone works on a success. If you get a 10 plus, they'll do whatever you ask as long as you do what you have offered them in return.
Hmm.
So if you want the flames to talk back, you have to offer them something.
And given what they told her the kaleidoscope,
Hmm. Anyone got any ideas? What he could offer it?
The flames pulsate with a pattern.
what does the pattern do?
Hal?
I don't know. Hal,
Hal?
would you like to make an empathy check?
Okay. Alright. Okay.
I'm talking to your shoulder.
That one's a little low. It's the 9. Which,
Ru-
let me look.
Luck.
It is... Oh, where are you? There you are. I gain a hazy impression of their current emotional state. So it's not quite as clear what it means as was if I was rolling those other ones.
It's roughly the equivalent of the flames. Roughly seems to be asking, like, I'll tell you if you let me get closer.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm not giving you that.
I will.
No, Kite. That's not really our choice.
I don't.
It's
The flames shine brightly, and they arch over to Celia,
hey, no. I'm the one asking questions.
and they swarm around Celia's legs, or what's left of them.
Oh.
Okay, come
And
closer
then
to me.
then
I'm the
the
one asking-
connection between them splits, and now Celia and Kaiko are both partially aflame.
What?
Oh God.
And the
This
flames
is not
are
good.
touching. The flames are touching Celia. They're not just around her. They're touching her the way they are with Kaiko, and the way they couldn't before.
Ooh.
Okay, now,
You have to answer questions now.
She just said
Oh.
the flames pulsate essentially. She didn't offer anything. She just said that we could
Damn it.
come closer.
Fine. Come
Don't-
closer.
Don't.
Both sets of flames join once more and go to you, Zoe. And they wrap particularly around your head and shoulders.
Ooh.
And stay there before once again separating from the other two.
Okay, can we please stop offering our bodies to this interstellar spectral
I don't know.
parasite,
No,
please?
I wanna know what's
What have
happening.
You could be killing yourselves.
Hey, if you're going through it, you're still here. Now answer the question.
remember what I said to you in the bunker, Kaiko?
Remember what Hal said? It's coming from you.
Celia, you hear a voice in your head that is loud and quiet at the same time. A voice like the sound of someone dropping tombstones until they break on the ground.
Oh.
A voice that says, "I'm sorry, I forgot the question. I was thinking about death."
Oh.
That happens to all of us.
Oh no, it's only Zoe. You guys aren't
Oh.
hearing shit.
Oh fuck.
Because only Zoe has this ability, and only
Oh,
Zoe opened herself up.
Did you say?
Fuck.
Did you say
I meant
the
Zoe. I
first
might
time?
have said
You said
Celia.
Celia.
Sorry, only Zoe can hear this.
Her
Sorry.
face is going a bit pale at this, but who are you?
Death.
That's a very vague answer.
But an honest one.
What are you?
Death.
What do you want with Kaiko?
To kill.
Kill her or?
Who?
Lots of things.
Why?
Lots of people. Why? Because I'm death. and I was given to her. And through her I will kill many things. And through you, I will kill many things.
Zoe, are you okay?
I'm okay.
I think you should come back to me. She's a minor. She to this.
I don't think it's going to leave, Celia.
No, I'm not.
Kaiko
I'm
tries
yours
to
now.
Kaiko tries to command it to come back.
You can't. The flames don't listen.
Oh, I see how it is. Not good enough for you.
I mean, Celia, you've still got yours.
Oh, okay.
It's split amongst the three of us now.
This
It's like
is
there's
a
three of them
Orange
now
still
instead
here.
of one.
Oh god.
Oren and Miranda are kind of busy having a moment. Because she's also been through some weird shit tonight.
Yeah. Why are you jumping between us?
Because you let me.
They're not. They're infecting you all.
Where did you come from?
Far away.
Could you show me where?
I've been infecting people this whole time.
No.
I can't.
Zoe, is
Okay,
yours
okay.
talking to you?
Oh yeah, she's kind of talking. Yes? Wait, who can? Who can show me?
The ones who made death.
Made death.
There are some places you can go to meet them if you'd like. We would gladly light the way.
Zoe's
Would you
talking
like
in
to meet them?
Zoe's talking in her head now. Could you show me?
Oh yes. I would love to show you.
If it will point to Dust Double Ranch, I'm leaving.
Will you hurt anyone here?
Would you like me to?
No.
Pity. Are you sure?
Yes.
Pity.
Show me later.
Of course. Whenever you want.
What's it offering to show you, Zoe?
No, she's talking in her head now.
Aww.
But we should show your friends too. After all, they are also friends with death.
We should.
Right? Kaiko the death?
Later. I'm
Later.
the only one who can talk to you.
For now.
For now. Which
We will
means
be waiting.
I'll be ready.
Perhaps. Well, that was fun.
Holy shit!
Jesus
It's 'cause of the-
Christ!
It's cut of the legs, isn't it? That's why it doesn't want to talk to me.
Is
During
everyone
that
doing
entire
anything?
time, Isaac's been recording and scanning, just recording as much data as he can about the fire, the energy.
Yeah, now that there's 3 of these things here, it's now comparable to the flying saucer.
And it can spread?
Jesus Christ.
One could say it can reproduce.
Ooh.
So is everyone okay?
So Kaiko has a spiritual parasite.
Zoe is extremely pale.
Celia's just
very
frustrated that they're
quiet.
talking to the others and not her.
Kaiko, Celia, and Zoe have spiritual parasites now.
Zoe goes to turn a little bit, but stumbles. Almost falls over. We should get home.
What the shit did you all just do?
I don't
Very
know.
bad
No one's telling
choices.
me anything.
Very, very bad.
You willingly allowed a spectral parasite to possess your
And-
body.
Against Kaiko's wishes, no less. Twice. So yeah, Kaiko was a little upset at both of you.
You took my magic fire! How dare you!
Morine,
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah.
making a joke.
This is like
We-
wading into the movie of The Thing and just going, "Hey, free real estate! What the fuck, guys?"
Yeah, taking the one person who seems to is somewhat immune to it, and intentionally infecting yourself.
Well, they said they'd answer the question if we let it get closer.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
yeah.
you weren't the one who asked the question, Celia. Zoe's kind of visibly annoyed at Celia.
Kaiko's angry at both of you.
Yeah.
I told you you weren't alone, and I fucking meant it.
Oren and Miranda approach, at which point they both see that the fire has spread. What the fuck?
They infected themselves with some sort of spiritual parasite. It's on me against my wishes.
Oren, we may have to make use of some of those
You-
devices you have in your vault.
You might know what this is. Now is a very good time to give us some context.
Miranda, I'm gonna take the kids over to the vault and give them a bit of an info dump. Are you good to go home? No, I can go with you. You sure? I thought you didn't want... It's fun to relive the glory days.
Also, you know, the main source for anxiety is never going to come after her. So,
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll have a study night. Let's all go to my house. Glad I stocked up on frozen pizzas.
I could use something to eat, yeah.
Hal makes a really big point of crossing the way to Kaiko and saying, "I meant what I said," and hugs her again.
Oh.
As you guys are going, Isaac, do you check you're still monitoring your radiation meter, right?
Oh yeah.
You notice a spike in the woods as you guys move, and you look towards it, and you see that the whole time, who was watching? It was Mothman.
Aw.
fuck, man.
You
At a farther distance than he has been most of the last few times you've been around, but he was there.
Aw, he was going to save Hal.
Freaked him out with a hug, didn't I?
A little bit.
He's claustrophobic, Hal.
All right, I'm ending the session there because I have work tomorrow.
Damn it, I need to
Oh.
know.
Oh yeah, we were getting
Want to know too?
Yeah. we're spiritual parasites, sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I've got to write out all my information on that so that it's concrete, as opposed to
Isaac-
something to vaguely hint at, because I didn't expect it to escalate this far right now.
Yeah.
Isaac
Talk to them.
got
Yeah,
themselves
totally.
infected. Isaac was just like, I'm going to record this and see if someone at Spindle recognizes these.
Because
Pinpoint it, but
this
now
is
it's just like, all right,
something I have loose plans for, but have not set in stone because I didn't know how this plotline was going to develop. And tonight it developed very heavily, and it would have like, even if I did have it all written down in concrete detail, it would have taken like at least a half hour to go through. So you're gonna have to fucking wait.
I have to go take a shower. And
I mean, that's part of the fun of the system is the, you know,
cliffhanger.
both ends can cause some stuff to happen.
To be completely fair, this is not the first time one of my characters has deliberately infected themselves with a deadly alien parasite to speed up the conversation.
God damn it, Case. I didn't know if I was actually going to accept it until Celia did. So I was like, oh fuck, I might as well.
Well, forgive Celia for wanting to get to the bottom of her
I mean,
friend's
yeah.
trauma.
That's fair, but she kind of just, you know, it didn't listen because she isn't the one who was, you know, part of the bargain.
Also, Kaiko's pissed at both of you for not listening to her
Well, you know, that's totally
boundaries
fair.
at all.
That's totally fair.
I'm gonna
Listening
give us
to
an
what?
outro so we can end the recording.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the depths of the ether, the Kaleidoscope Men spaceship hovers forlornly. The Kaleidoscope Men gather in their commons area, deeply in mourning.
Pouring out the equivalent of a Kaleidoscope Man beer.
Communicating their deep sense of loss. One finally articulates, "So what do we do now? Our ambassador will not join us. Do we begin the experiment again?" The others, their sad expressions on their faces lighten a bit, as their sadness is partly relieved by the speculation of what to do. And the leader of the Kaleidoscope Men says, "We wait. Our ambassador will not join us yet, but she may change her mind. We watch. We wait." And that's where we will end tonight's Offbeat Melody.